Me. And with that, we are now live. All right. Hello, Demon Zuri. Welcome. Right, just double checking some things. Built-in straw. All right, I'm glad I read that. How are you? I am doing well. Had two nightmares back to back. So I woke up when my brother woke up. That's when that one ended. And then like I wanted to be up by like 7:50, but then like another nightmare hit. So when that happened, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go try again. So then I set an alarm and I didn't get out of bed until like 10. But also didn't sleep until like 1, so thankfully these nightmares weren't like the existential kinds, they're just like the jump scare kinds. The ones I feel like kind of dreads like, oh, I'm being chased. I don't like that. But I'm doing good. Tired. I don't like that I've been tired this whole week, but at least I've been able to get things done. The horrors in question. Give me 1 second. I need to double check something. I'm still good. Perfect. Oh, there's actually one other thing I need to do. I saw. I've only seen the prologue episode they released the last week. Did they release another episode today? All right, I need to double check my messages as well. Okay. Just need to do one last thing before I can start stream. No, just the prologue. I don't remember his pants right now. Yeah, no, that is just over my head right now. I do not remember. And then I just gotta do this. Okay. I'm so glad I remembered to do that. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for that. Oh boy. That would have not been fun to forget that. They cannot keep getting away with this. They made them extra wide for no reason. They were not that wide before. It's built like a triangle. Oh, now I remember why I don't like full screen. Okay, at least you can use the arrow keys. Aradin. Aradia. Ara. Aradia. 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 There we go. Oh, Aradia. What a funny menace she becomes later. All right. Begin the friendship process. Let me tell you this right now, Riku. What am I being told? In one of these volumes, the OST is called Yeah, It Is. I want to say it's the Aradia, the Aradia one. But I have to look at the other volume names real quick. It's a clear, cool night, and you're wandering around trying to decide whose hive you should crash at before the sun comes up. It's nice having so many options for places to stay. You've cultivated a decent community for yourself, and there's an ember of pride in your belly about it. Can't see. What? Give me one. I am back. And also, let me see if I can change this. Actually, wait. Okay. This sucks. Okay, I know what I need to do then. I think I have to do windowed. Yeah, I can't do full screen for this, I think. Yep, I can't do full screen. Actually, wait, can I do this instead, though? Yeah, but sorry about that. My mom called, and she decided to give me the great news of, hey, I sent you the wrong message. So essentially, she wanted me to log into her account, and she said, pay this much. So right before stream, I did that. I sent her a message, and I said, and it showed, hey, you paid this much. And she said, why'd you pay that much? And I told her, look through the messages you just sent. You told me that you wanted to pay this much. And she looked through, he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to. And it's like, okay. So we had to fix that real quick. So that first payment is now canceled. And now the new payments processing. So hopefully her bank doesn't see anything weird, but I really hate my mom has a credit card. I really fucking hate that my mom has a credit card and she can't fucking take care of it herself. I really hate she has a credit card. I'm gonna keep bitching about this. I thought for a while it was gonna be safe, but nope. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that, but I really, really fucking hate that she has a credit card. Alright, continuing. Hello, cat. Since when do you stream on Thursdays? On the days I'm not mentally drained because I know I have to go to work later that day. Like, I try to stream every Thursday, but there are just some days where I'm like, I have to go to work and I hate my job because everyone there has to make it difficult. It's kind of fun to test out the boundaries. The grind only stops on Thursday. But guess what? I don't work today, so that means we can do 2 volumes. You know why? Because I don't have to be like, man, I have to work later today and I have to deal with their bullshit. Nah, not today. And not next Thursday either. So guess what we're doing next week too? 2 more volumes, baby. If they tell me I work next Thursday, I'm actually going to freak out. Kind of fun to test out the boundaries of your powers. You've used it to find friends, but you're not really sure how far it goes. You think tree and you don't know how your magic brain decided which one to choose? But fuck it. You aren't sitting on an extremely high branch a second later. You try it again, with whatever concept comes to mind. You try it again with whatever concept comes to mind. Garden. Yep. You try it again with whatever concept comes to mind. Garden. Cave. You try it again with whatever concept comes to mind. Garden, cave, mall. And it all works. You don't remember ever having been to any of those specific places, but you feel a strange prickly affinity for each time your feet touch the ground. I'm trying to remember the mall one. Is that when we went with the one girl? I forget her name. She was, I believe, a Jade Blood. Those are all pretty generic locational nouns, though. You wonder if it works for things that are more abstract. Daria. I think I know which one that one is. Rendison. Yeah, okay, yeah, that one. Why do I not remember that? Why do I not remember the ball for her? Quickly, before you can talk yourself out of the naivete of it, you think, home. It still takes you a minute to open your eyes, even after you feel your guts all back in the right place. Because what if you wake up in a room that feels like yours, or worse, and infinitely more likely, what if you don't? You breathe in deep and immediately cough wretchedly. Yep. You open your watery eyes, clinging to the hope that maybe you come from a land of dusty comforts where you always breathe in layers of dust and it's fine. It's not fun. You've landed inside one of the spinniest, most precarious hunks of metal that has ever been bolted onto the side of a cliff. It looks like some ancient outpost, not homey at all. Of course that wouldn't work. It was too much to try. Defeat is bitter in your mouth. There's a twisty part of you that wants to curl up on a particular piece of floor and take a nap. You can't work out how much of that urge is just you wanting to give in, so just in case, you don't surrender to it. Maybe we'll come back another time and sift through all the shit on the shelves. But for now, you're not sure how structurally sound this thing is, and you can't take any more disappointments. So, you try one more time to pop up somewhere you haven't been before. What was that one guy's name that Gamzee mentioned? Oh yeah, Equius. Maybe he's chill? You think his name and zap away, imagining yourself leaving an edgy, despondent swirl of dust in your wake. You're about to get punched, my guy. You're about to get absolutely decked. This guy is roided, but he's not roided. He's just on that calcium. Your magical zap calibration maybe isn't as off as you thought, because you pop in on Equius as close as it is possible to get to the dude without landing directly on top of him. The astonishing unchillness of the situation is immediately apparent. He's mid-jump, mid-yell, mid-sweat, and mid-swing of an outlandishly beefy arm down towards you. You freeze frame like an anime protagonist analyzing their choices mid-battle. In your drawn-out split second of an observation window, you realize he's not aiming at you, but in the direction of whatever noisy whirling thing you happen to plop down in front of. Fuck. As soon as he sees you, his eyebrows shoot up above his busted-ass sunglasses and his yell strangles itself into panic. His arm shudders as though he's trying, and failing, to alter its glorious faceward trajectory. You really do not want to get your face punched off your head, so you scream and zap just outside the high-arched door on the far end of the room. You hear a deep, meaty thunk, followed by a groan, then a sharp metallic crunch. The whirring stops. Oh my god, is he dead? Is the other thing dead? Should you go check up on him? You skitter away from the door and then back to it, unsure what to do. Was that? No, it can't have been. Hello. Show yourself this instant. Ah, fuck, he does not sound happy. His words are a little garbled too, like some teeth got knocked out by whoever's ass he was just kicking. You weigh your options. Chicken out. You don't know. Equius looks super strong and even more pissed. You really do not want to be next in line to get disemboweled. If friendship with this guy is really meant to be, maybe you can reconnect with Gamzee as an intermediary. That sounds like a normal and cool time. Panic grips you as heavy footsteps. Hello, my lady. We were just onto the first choice of Equius. All you missed was me being stressed by my mother. But other than that, no, you've only missed like a few minutes of actual dialogue. And I hope you're having a good day, Maxwell. As you as well, Demon Zeri. Forgetting you have your super useful zap power specifically for use in time-sensitive panic situations, you turn and run. You glance over your shoulders as you go and collide spectacularly with a brick wall. The brick wall is aqueous. No, it's the butler. Looking up from the brightly polished floor where you lay, inexplicably doused in milk and broken glass, you realize it wasn't a wall you hit. It's a glistening, part pseudo-humanoid, part horse, cow, beast person. Another godforsaken Lucis, maybe. Oh. You really aren't sure, but the fact that his top half looks kind of like a more dapper you fills you with the most cursed mixture of fear and curiosity you've felt thus far. He doesn't seem bothered by you at all, only anxiously trying to get by you. You try to stand up, but you slip on the milk and eat shit, just as Aqueous bursts through the door. They both tower over you where you lay, flopping, ineffectively, in a burgeoning puddle of froth. God, is everyone in this house just made of muscle? You've had enough of this regular strength escape attempt shit. Bruised, humiliated, and covered in dairy. You zap on out of there. Humiliated. I hate this. Yep, I hate this. Yep. I'm so glad we're here with Aqueous today. Oh, I can actually see my mouse this time. Normal times all around. Yep. What are you doing, Salem? You leave Bucky's alone. Be brave. Oh no. Oh man. You know the games you seal of approval is maybe not the most credible, but this guy might be an okay dude, and it would definitely be your fault if he was hurt in there. You should at least check on him. Explain or something. You can zap away if it comes down to it. Oh. You do the polite thing, this time, and knock. He opens the door fast. Like he was just on the other side of it, you both jump. He collects himself and glares at you, arms crossed against his heaving chest. Rivulets of blood and sweat run together and pool into the divot above his weird alien clavicle, and a low, menacing sound rumbles through him. You can feel it in your teeth. Holy shit, he's terrifying. Explain yourself immediately. You think you might shit your pants on the spot, but he gives you a quick up and down and rearranges his expression to a sort of forced smile. Doesn't really feel any more welcoming, what with the blood dripping down his chin, but the fact that he's trying is maybe a good sign. You hold in your fear shit, just in case. Or, perhaps, come in and take a rest. He steps aside to beckon you through the door, then sort of freezes. Unless you should be the one instructing me, in which case it would behoove you to make that promptly apparent. I cannot work out how exactly to address you when you don't wear a caste symbol and you 100k and you look like that, which I am either very sorry for or quite What is that symbol? What does the percentage sign mean for him? That's supposed to be an 8? Depending on where the truth lies, I don't remember. Maybe it's time I go learn. Maybe it's time I go back and learn lead speak. But it's been years. Either way, I'm beginning to perspire about it. So out with it right now. Man, he's really struggling. The anger you felt radiating off him before is still there, but that doesn't seem to be all of what's driving him. It's like there are two competing forces inside him. Both are gay. one that wants to yell at you, and one that wants to get yelled at by you. Yep. 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 Yep, because that's what this fucking guy is. I want to dominate, but I want to be dominated. You might conceptualize these forces as fierce and warring in a glorious and unwavering balance. Horses, perhaps, and we'll workshop that metaphor later. You tell him you know you look weird, but you promise you're cool. You know a friend of his. The mention of Gamzee, the corner of his lip curls up into something complicated, so you change course real fast just in case. And Carcat! Does he know Carcat? What a guy. He eyes you warily, or you think he probably does, with his eyes hidden behind his shades. You can't be sure, but he's being very still. Sweat and blood are still just fucking running down his face. And he's not even acknowledging it. You laugh nervously. You both continue to stand there, waiting for the other to make a move. It would be super helpful if someone was assertive around here. Luckily, some kind of cow centaur man, his Lucis, you assume, breaks the awkward doorway stalemate by silently trotting up and handing Equus a desperately needed towel. He then offers you both some frosty glasses of milk. Something deep inside you feels a swell of warm recognition for the ritualistic moment of a friend's parent bringing you snacks. So you down that thick shit in one go. The Lucis's mustache flutters in appreciation, and after a nod between him and Equius, he leaves as quietly as he came. I see you're an aficionado of the sweetest of nectars. This speaks to the likelihood of your nobility, which is reassuring. You know, we say unnecessary description, but then I look at the horse statues like that. We're kind of here now. This is just. Can it really be an excess when everything is an excess, so it's just normal now? This is the new normal. I may be able to overlook the circumstances of our meeting then, if you provide strong evidence, of course. Tell me, are you also a hoofbeast art enthusiast? I won't get a noise complaints. My brother isn't sleeping, so I can scream if I need to. Hardly anyone's here in the apartment complex. I want to scream. He beckons you inside the room. As an artist, I am. He beckons you inside the room, and then as you follow, you tell him you're not exactly sure what that means, but probably you're paying a lot of. Oh. Why is there an ass shot of a horse? Well, it's I guess you'd call it a back shot, you know? And I know, like, the other implication of that, but legitimately, it's like the butt of the stallion, but also, like, the shoulders look up the window. Oh, yeah, there's one, like, a thought. Not really a thought. What are those, like a Speedo? That would be a Speedo, right? Oh. Wow. Okay, so that's what that means. Cool. Yeah, you know, whatever. You feel like you learned once that anything can be art if it, feels right. So art can definitely be the well-muscled horseman on the walls of this here living space. Equius rumbles in agreement and gestures towards a chair. It's one of those cool red and black gamer-themed chairs with embedded speakers. There's a lot of that kind of decorating motif in here, which is a little at odds with the high ceiling and engraved doorways and general blue blood old money architecture. And you totally know what you mean by that, the blue blood. It's just that you don't exactly remember where you remember it from. I mean, people are really into Uma Musume, so that's right. But those are horse girls, completely different. More refined, more... They're not still, like... It's just like that fucking thing of Twilight where it's like, you change Edward and Jacob for the female equivalent, and all the guys go, I get it. It's literally Frank Reynolds and It's Always Sunny crying, seeing Mac's gay performance art piece, going, I get it. It's just that. That's all this is. Oh yeah, there are some broken bows and robot parts all over the goddamn fucking place. Not in neat little stacks or connected to other robot parts to create whole robots, just an absolute wasteland of obliterated robo corpses. Like, they all were torn limb from limb and then just scooted off towards the wall. A fair few of them are spattered in blood too. Dried, it looks almost black, but the fresh stuff on the fist of one piece of the one in pieces at your feet is bright indigo. On the one hand, it is absolutely a relief to see that it's all metal and not flesh body parts scattering the floor. But also it's still, you know, not fucked up looking. Your smile probably has too many teeth in it to seem normal, but Equus returns it in kind and leans. You know what this reminds me of? Like, this little dynamic? It reminds me of Gumball and the one hot dog guy. When, like, they try not to cringe in front of each other or do something really cringy or slash awkward, and they just keep doing that fucking smile. It's like, God, no, this is great. What he probably thinks is casual against the edge of his desk. It creaks under his weight. Jesus, he could just end you in a half second, couldn't he? Yeah. You claim we have mutual acquaintance. So demonstrate it. He nods towards the screen of his desktop where he has Trollian open. Oh, fuck. Okay, you guess you can just click on someone and ask them to approve it? He seems to know both Carcat and Gamsey, and between the two, you know who's most likely to be online and ready to pester and be pestered at all times. So you click his screen name and start typing. Hey, Carcat, I hope you're having a good day. I just had a quick favor to ask you. Wait, what? Oh, also I miss you. What the fuck? What the fuck happened to you? Where's your horrifying quirk? How am I supposedly saddled up for some truly nauseating conversation if I don't have a not veiled at all bulge reference greeting me at the beginning of everyone ever creating that? Are you sick? Like, in a new way? Alright, Jesus, you're logging in as Aqueous. Your fool ass just started typing like you had your own account for some reason. You blame it on nerves and get to clarifying. And also because maybe you did have your own account at one point, but you don't know why. Sorry, this is your new friend. After I dropped you off yesterday, I wandered around for a while, and now I'm hanging out with Aqueous. I'm using his computer. Oh, my pusher almost fucking gave up on the spot. I don't think he trusts me. Can you vouch for me? Hold on. Let me just bask in the concept of the two of you hanging out. This is a mental masterpiece. A tribulate of awkward fucking splendor. I legitimately do not even know what sort of circuiting must be happening in his brain to try and make sense of you. Please don't tell me a single fucking thing about it later. Okay, woo, I'm done now. Is he watching? Aqueous leans over your shoulder and tucks his hair behind his ear so it doesn't get in the way of his typing. It's a bow and arrow. Any resemblance otherwise is only a pleasant coincidence. And yes, I am watching. It's only a pleasant coincidence. Okay. Okay, whatever. Listen up. You milk log cum squelcher. This little guy right here? The one you're probably dripping sweat all over? That's one of the realest friends you will ever hope to make. Surely. They'll send your life careening horrendously off course, but it will absolutely be worth it for the level of dedication they bring to the table. Don't even bother with the blood-colored horseshit with this one, since they're the only one of their species. Just roll with it for once in their wretched life. Don't fuck this one up, Zahak. They're an abomination, and they wouldn't know what a boundary was if it took up residence in their greased chutes. But you two have those things in common, so in this case, that's a good thing. Equius inhales sharply, and you wonder what Karkat meant by that. But Equius, you mean? Sure, you're an inexplicable being, neither Earthling nor Alternian, but with weird itchy memories about having lived on both planets. Well, he doesn't seem out of the normal range of fucked up, considering troll standards. In fact, how about this? That is sufficient. Goodbye. He minimizes the window and steps back, somehow sweater than before. He taps the towel gingerly to his forehead. So, we have now been properly introduced. Okay then, you definitely thought he was going to be more thorough than that. He does seem like a little shaken up, so maybe you should just be thanking the conversation got cut short before you could really dig too deep into your lore and get judgmental about it. I forget. Is he enjoying the fact that Karkat is essentially like verbally dominating him? Like he's lower blood and he's verbally dominating him and he's getting off on it. If I remember right, wasn't there someone who did that to him? He does, yeah, but also makes him very confused. Yes, because there's those two wolves inside of him fighting because he wants to dominate, but he also wants to be dominated. Which was the person who did that to him? Were lower caste, but just told him to shove it up his ass, and he was like, "I've never had these feelings before," and like that's the part that awoke in him. I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't think it was Karkat. And then if I remember right, Audi or Karkat, it might be Karkat at that point because I don't think Aradia did that to him. No, yeah, it might have been Aradia because he gets those weird feelings for. Also, he really likes that she's a robot. If I remember right, he tries to get with her when she's a robot. It might be Aradia, yeah. And then if I remember right, he also likes being told what to do by the higher caste blood. But again, he also wants to dominate. He made her a robot who likes him, but also hates him. Yes. Because of like one of their previous conversations, he programmed her to have feelings for him. Yeah, because she did something and he wanted to do that. I do not remember that sequence well, though. But it was something about their conversation. It was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. But I think he tries to take it back, but then like when he meets her, he's like, oh no, this is a great idea. And then he's like, oh no, this is a terrible idea. I do not know the standard method of communication of your species. You will take the lead here, and it will surely become clear how I should proceed. Oh god, no. Yes, that sounds extremely feasible. Oh. The percentage signs in X. Okay. You will now begin the friendship process. I command you. Okay. Oh, sure, you got this. How exactly do you got this? Fuck it, we're both freaks, huh? You decided to just go for it. Sometimes leaping into what could potentially be a super sensitive topic for someone ends up being the key ingredient in a friendship pie. You can see it now, Equius cry, and thankfully you are here to talk about whatever this unspeakable commonality you share is. You wiping his tears with his already plenty soaked towel. You shake yourself out of your daydream and drop this sweet, loaded question right in his lap. Holy shit, you can't wait till this works? Excuse you? Speak for yourself, my standing is unblemished. Karkat is only comparing us in that way to further the ruse that he is removed from that particular category. It is a delicate social dance. Oh, okay. You're not really sure Karkat sees it that way, but hey, whatever works for them. Anyway, he was just yelling a lot about something that's not a big deal, as is his manner of showing affection, but you just thought he meant like the horn thing. The horn thing? Oh shit, you're sorry. You don't know what things are and aren't callable around here, It's almost like it's all entirely arbitrary at the whims of whoever's in charge or something. You like the look personally, but you haven't made friends with someone with a broken one before, so you're not sure how common it is. It is relatively uncommon. They're exceptionally sturdy, so it takes something very strong to break them. He looks like he might be about to tell you the story, but somehow you keep not learning the lesson where you should just chill and experience something instead of just leap to try to figure it out before it happens. So, fueled by enthusiasm for your newest spur-of-the-moment decision, you stop listening to his lecture on troll biology and focus instead on zapping to the moment his horn broke. Troll biology is probably super uninteresting anyway, and you'll probably come right back here after and you'll be able to contribute more to the conversation. You pop off into familiar nothingness, but instead of appearing at a point in Equus's past, you feel yourself split. It's like looking at a magic eye puzzle, but with your whole body. Try to concentrate to align the segments into a whole, but it's too late. You think for a second it might be a cool new power, but it doesn't feel that different than before, only just triple? It's like there's narrative precedence for this moment existing in more than one plane of truth. Unable to do something else, you just sit there in space, contemplating this paradox. You watch. He looks a little younger, but not much. He's beating the shit out of a robot, but it's not the same as it was when you saw it before. However briefly. Then his movements had been smooth even in their rage. Like he wasn't afraid until you showed up. Here in this weird half-present space, his movements are erratic. He swings wildly, unthinkingly, like there's nothing left inside him but one last flicker of fury. His teeth are gritted against tears, and he just looks so tired. I want to pull him back, to make him rest. You see him reach the same conclusion, but not at all how you meant it. He just stops. The robot does not. You feel him close his eyes. At the same moment, you see another snapshot of time much further back. There's a little grub, wobbling its way up a stalactite in a cave. It's definitely a precarious place, but it still somehow feels safe to you, for some reason. Safe, but also, like, super violent. Who knows? There's a lot going on right now. He crawls to the top and roars up, a baby clicking roar, eyeing a taller cave precipice. You see his little behind wiggle as he moves to jump. Over top that, there's another Equus, looking about the same as he does now, just plus one horn, out for a stroll in the moonlight. This one is about to cross the street when a majestic herd of hoofbeasts crests a faraway hill. He stops, transfixed, as the animal gallops across the plain. He does not hear the approaching scuttlebuggy. You watch all this from your floating void standpoint, unable to stop it. The arcs of their falls align in cosmic synchrony, hair fanned out like a banner of defeat. The echo of the crack the horns make as they shatter reverberates in your teeth. You yell as all three Equises hit their respective grounds. You can't help it. You start to care about this guy a little bit. As the sound leaves you, all three of them turn their injured heads to look at you in unison, and you freeze. Shit. It's probably not supposed to happen, right? You were just watching, not changing anything. You barely know what you're doing, though, so you can never be sure. You zap immediately back to the present, winded and dizzy. You feel deeply, suddenly corporeal, like you do when you step off a boat onto the shore, but with each atom of your body separately and all at once. Aqueous is standing exactly where he was when you left, totally unchanged, still yammering about anatomy. Ooh, good to know nothing got fucked up in the future after you. Wait, you were there. He pauses, shaking his head to clear it as his memories realign. I don't know how I didn't remember. I accepted your offer of friendship and you were paying me with this tomfoolery? You knew how it happened all this time, and yet you played ignorant, jockeying for position as someone in my trust only to play me for a fool. No, see, you didn't before. It wasn't until after you went back that this became the way things went. See, the way time travel works is, do not explain time travel to me. What do you take me for? You're still reeling a bit from seeing him so vulnerable, by varying definitions of vulnerable, you guess, but still. You know you just got this information from an unfair source, but now that you have it, you don't feel rapt just leaving. There's more to Aqueous than you'd originally thought, and you can feel the chance to learn more about him slipping away. I do not know what it is you want from me, but you will not receive it. Whatever connection you feel to him in this moment, he clearly does not return it. And shit, he's starting to get pissed. Sweat begins to beat at his temple. Your brain, scrambling to grasp a hold of any thought that isn't your abject friendship failure, latches onto the realization that Sweat and all, his hair somehow still looks really good, would now be a good time to ask him what products I don't think this alliance is going to work out. You will leave. I must get back to my business. Your heart sinks as he turns his back to you, presses the button on the back of a robot's neck, and rolls his shoulders. Goodbye. Shunned. Let's see. Be brave. Show off your cool powers. Great. You can do that. Making friendship happen is like one skill you actually have. From what you recall, you have 100% success rate at it, too. So this budding report is safe in your hands. Excellent. Ooh, you really weren't sure he'd be down for this? It really seemed like he might be coming to kill you when you heard him stomping towards the door earlier. Kill you? I would never. He cuts himself off, as though he didn't intend to admit he didn't have it in him to murder you, and clears his throat. At first, I thought you might be Arthur Milusis. It's ridiculous looking back, though you do share a sort of globular padded resemblance. How did you come to entangle yourself in my brawl, only to immediately escape? Are you abnormally fast? I admit that particular method of being strong had not occurred to me, but I am intrigued. I too like to test the limits of my physical capabilities. Oh no, you can just zap places. It's kind of strength, maybe? If you wanted to find a superpower that way, yeah, you show off a bit since, Aqueous likes demonstrations. You tell him about how all you have to do is think of the place or person you want to visit and pop. You bop to the top of a pile of robot parts, then back in front of him on the floor. It's like that, except anywhere. I see. This is exceptional. He sort of just starts quaking gently where he stands. He rubs his neck with his towel, but he's not really even sweating any more than he already was. It's as though in his excitement, he forgot to sweat and just dabbed by force of habit. Is that a thing? Why are you even noticing this shit? Is it possible to bring along a Pallion rider? What? Like zap a buddy a few? In answer, you extend an elbow for him to grab. His whole body is vibrating at this point. He reaches his hand out, but stops just before he touches you, like you might shock him. It's okay, it won't hurt, you say. His fingers twitch, just above your elbow, and his mouth purses in distrust. You're not sure exactly what he's worried about, since you're extremely undangerous, but you let him have a moment to work through whatever he's nervous about. He takes a steadying breath. It's a little unsettling to see his face relax, even briefly, into a soft, calm lines. Flip palm up. His hand slowly cradles your forearm from below. He nods a sharp, determined movement and starts telling you what to do again. You will take me with you. Her name is Nepeta. Do you require any other information, or will that be sufficient? That ought to do it. You haven't heard of her. You don't think, but you feel an immediate surge of excitement about this little jaunt. It's probably mostly just the friendship thirst talking, but you can't help but feel like this is a connection that's supposed to be made. Like it's something that matters. You zap away. The pleasant little cosmic slip and slide feeling when you zap around is jolted, like you got yanked off the ride of a fish up to your guts. You land back exactly where you started. That did not work. Did you miss me? No, this should work. You're not even high this time. As impressive as the strength of your power is, perhaps you need to apply more attention to the more intricate details involved. She's an olive blood, very short and shamefully upkept. This information will help. You hope so. He is starting to look pretty tense, even with a fond lilt in his voice as he talks about his messy friend. You give it another whirl, and then you feel it. That same weighty glare on the back of your neck telling you don't belong. Fuck, you got zap blocked again. You will try again. Each one is ground out one at a time between his clenched teeth. Blood tingles through the cracks in his bite and out the corner of his lips. You really don't think it's going to work, but Aqueous looks like he's a second away from losing his shit. So, reluctantly, you comply. Quit fucking trying to skip ahead. It's not going to work. As you hurtle through space-time towards Aqueous' floor, you start to wonder if this is just going to be what happens now when you try to make friends. You accept his truth into your heart as your face accepts the impending wooden planks. Aqueous lands on his feet a little ways away from you, his hands balled into fists, belling with impotent rage. He's not even saying words, just unleashing an agonized guttural wail. He punches an already dead robot torso leaning against the bookshelf. In punctuation, he kicks its decapitated head, which explodes in a shower of bolts and sparks. As the dust clears, you see him dutifully wiping himself down with a towel, breathing hard. He seems to work to his anger out because he walks with purposeful grace. So he learned it in quotation. It sits next to where you're still sort of laying on the floor. You're both silent for a beat. Aqueous tugs at a lock of his hair, anxiously wrapping around his finger. His hand falls to his lap. I apologize for that display. The disappointment emotion is not my favorite. I feel better now, however. My Moira lives very far away, so our paths have never been able to cross. Whatever force is blocking us seems to wield significant narrative power, so I'll respect its whims as above mine and status. For now. You know, it happens. You know, strangers to the ups and downs of friendship. The trick is to know when to keep trying and when to fall back, no matter how futile it feels or how alone you are. Your morale is impressive considering your circumstances. That's probably mostly a compliment. You're not really sure. Your circumstances definitely feel like they could be worse. You're very sure of yourself. How do you manage this when you're the only one of your kind? What does society tell you how to act or feel? How do you know if you are living in the correct way? Because Doc Scratch put in factory standard settings, and Doc Scratch can fucking go die permanently into the void to never harass anyone ever again. How do you know where you belong, or if you belong? Fucking ouch. The desire to belong is a yawning wound in your guts. One that never seems to heal. You try not to let this rip too many stitches out of it. Number one hater. Oh, Doc Scratch, you are a fascinating entity. Please die. The authors did a great job of making me want you to die. You never feel totally secure, you say. There's always fear, always doubt, always pain. But you find people in unlikely places. Make community when and where you can. Shit, you have belonging at what, like 8 people's houses by now? It's not the same as having your own spot, but it's definitely something. You start off on the defensive, but you realize it's true. So really you figure you're still defining yourself by relationships to other people. So that can come from a good place and not just a twisted and forced one. You get wanting to know you're doing something right, unlock your own mentality, devise set of achievements for that sweet dopamine rush, but leaning on a fucked up social system for direction and validation doesn't really help them, and definitely isn't helping many others. You don't need that to figure yourself out. His breath. Are you telling me to rebel against the system? Do you wanna? How dare you? His brows furrow, and you can almost hear a couple of the 4672 rigid barriers in his brain creaking open. It's not just other people you think. You find strength. Oh, sorry. Strength. Is that right? In your own self, too. You met a lot of people and learned a lot of ways to be. But you're still working on what that means for you. No, it is not right. But I appreciate the attempt. This type of understanding does not come easy to me. But I believe I am following. In my case, I strive to locate and retool the edge of my own abilities. Physical prowess is a relatively typical indigo trait, but I am abnormally strong. I have worked to hone it in an attempt to make sense of myself and why I'm like this. Reining in an aberrant trait and define myself by it. He gestures to the god-awful robot mess, then flexes his hand. The blood he coagulated since you two started talking. He stares at it. This way of thinking may not always be a good thing, however. Certain habits are difficult to break. Though there are loopholes in every rule, I often lose track of which regulations I actually enjoy following and which I just do not know how to disregard. At least with this hobby, all the stakes are under my control with no chance of others getting hurt. Unless they haphazardly zap in between your fight looking for friendship, that is. His smile is as broken and rigid as it was the first time, but it feels different. Backed by the ruffled warmth of his laugh. Yes, do not do that again. Next time you will zap to the front door, and our Thor will let you in. Next time, you think. And he smiled back. Excellent victory. Beautiful. Terezi. Also, we're definitely ending this with Aradia. This is Aridin. This is Aridin, and I love the voice they gave him the voiceover. Alright. A fair trial. It's a cool, breezy evening. Violet leaves crunch under your feet as you stroll casually through a dense and inviting forest. Not an environment you're used to on this planet, that's for sure. Terezi, the undisputed goat, the MVP. The one who just gets down to business. You should be lapping up this serenity like a thirsty dog at a Zen fountain. Instead, you're brooding. So many new friends, all of them a special breed of sad. You don't like seeing people sad, so you've done everything in your power to fix them. Slumber party, matchmaking, throwing a giant spider into a volcano. The smiles your new friends greet you with are all the proof you need that you've been doing good work. And yet, you can't help but wonder how much of a difference any of this really makes. Especially on Alternia, you gather that even if one of these kids avoids being murdered by an insectoid eugenics robot, they'll just wind up conscripted into a lifetime of military service under a colonial empire, which makes it really hard to believe that inducing a few bouts of revelatory catharsis will ultimately amount to much. It's a depressing thought, and you're not entirely sure what to do with it. Which is why you came out here. Nothing better for the soul than a nature hike, right? Maybe after a nice long walk, you'll come out right as... Hey, is that Treehouse? What? Ouch? Ouch is right, criminal. Great. More shenanigans. You won't lie and say the prospect of making friends with a spooky shark in glaringly red shades isn't appealing, but criminal doesn't leave a great taste in your mouth. When you try to move, well, you don't, because you're tied to a chair. Strike 2 on the bad taste scorecard. Probably shouldn't stick around for strike 3. In a moment of uncharacteristic self-preservation, you close your eyes and attempt to zap away. But you can't. So, I don't know where I get my verbal tics from, Well, I'm pretty sure people have noticed that sometimes when I say you, I say chew. So instead of but you, it's like but chew. I don't know where that comes from. It's not like I'm trying to. It's like I'm trying to oofify my fucking speak. And it's like, no, no, I'm not. But you, maybe that's the reason why. It's just because it can. But you, but you, but you, but you. Why do I do that? I don't even think that's a Midwestern thing. Regardless, your head hurts and your vision is still kind of hazy, which might imply brain damage on account of your surprising wanging. With your luck, that probably means your superpowers are permanently broken. Typical. Looking up at your captor again, you can't help thinking the specs are a bit extra. What kind of loser wears big, angular sunglasses like that anyway? Oof. Reader, please. You, you'd certainly be on one. You'd certainly be one to judge if you had this legal authority to do so. A fashionable dress like this with blood as deliciously red as yours. Oh dear Lord, I'm gonna have to read Terezi's thing aloud. All right. Yep, this is gonna be rough. The hypocrisy on you stinks like a fragrant pus. Gross. Jeez, what's up with these aliens and their hang-ups about blood? Hang-ups? Gallows humor is an admirable quality, but such crowd-pleasing theatrics will not spare you from the full weight of the law. A bizarre tableau unfolds before you. Stuffed dragons and benches, big angry monster, big noose dangling next to the window. Looks like you've wandered into a courtroom drama. Much to your relief, your kidnapper isn't a shark, and you have to admit the glasses do come together in the ensemble, but it is instead a short, stocky troll girl in a short-sleeved turtleneck and a pair of garish red Crocs. So this right here, this repeat you're hearing, that sounds like Sakuya's theme, I believe. Is it It sounds Toho. Like, this is something you definitely hear from Toho. But I don't know if it's Sakuya's theme or someone else's theme that has that. But yeah, that part specifically sounds like it would be like one of the main beats you'd hear, or I don't know what the term would be, but essentially you'd hear that a lot in one of the songs. Yeah, this does sound like that. The fashion on this one is staggering, especially if is that a sword and cane with a dragon head? Baller. It is, because I'm blind and cool. But make no mistake, I don't need eyes to smell how guilty you taste. Sir, could you please speak up? I'm not wearing any pants. I don't remember from which part or which of many parts does this one play. I think from Game Over and Many Places. Wow, is every sentence that tumbles out of this troll's mouth going to be weird and uncomfortable? Yes. But enough from you, Cherry Cheeks. Oh, I don't like the pet name, but I also do. Don't. His honorable tyranny will only tolerate so much banter before holding you in contempt. You might be developing some contempt for yourself if you're being honest. Well, unless you want to be squeezed until your organs burst from your eyes, you'll can the back talk and let the prosecution get to work. Is that what being held in contempt means? Fine. You guess you'll be polite and stop interrupting. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Right. Now that we have the preamble out of the way, there's a ding from her computer, and her posture immediately switches from confident to frustrated. Ugh, hold on. She strides over to her husktop, tapping the gleaming edge of her cane in front of her as she does. What kind of a miraculous accessibility contraption exists on this planet that a blind person can just use? Is she licking the monitor? Yes, she's licking her filthy fucking computer monitor, just slathering it up with her teal-tinted saliva, going at it like a husband greeting his war wife after 20 years at sea. Why? Sorry, give me a second. No problem. Say it's not like you're going anywhere. Okay, she's distracted. Now'd be a great time to go somewhere. Your powers still seem to be on fritz, but you think the weight of your incredible ass might shatter this chair if you can get some leverage. Wait it out. You decide it's best to wait this out. The sword and noose are a bit worrying, but with the plush toys and the chalk drawing, it strikes you this is probably the closest thing Alternia has to a tea party, which would be adorable if it weren't so depressing. Playing along seems like a prime friend-making activity. Besides, whoever got hurt in a court of law? After a few brisket keystrokes, she strolls back to her place in the center of the room. Not a word in half a sweep, and now she won't shut up. You ask who she was talking to. Just some dumb angry girl who needs to leave me alone until they heat death in the universe. Who even cares anyway? Vrishka? Nah, me, that too. Where were we? Crimes. You're here today to face the highest justice under my authority as Premier League affiliated lacellator in training of his Honorable Tyranny Court. I'm so proud of myself for that one. And it is with said authority that I accuse you of that most grievous of crimes against the Empire for imperious condescension. Oh, what crime would that be? Breaking and entering, doping with a clown. You guess you could technically nail you down as accomplice to murder, but the crime of exist? You know what? Fair. Suffer not the Xeno. Am I right, fellow guys? Fellow dudes? Suffer not the Xeno? What? You're waiting for the other shoe to drop, but the damn thing just seems to be stuck up there. What does he say about being in training? You're beginning to wonder if this is... What did he call herself? Slaylisator, prosecutioner, public dexpertist? You're beginning to wonder if this murder lawyer actually knows what the hell she's talking about. You think I'm making this up? Do I really look like the kind of girl who would randomly commit unprompted and unjustified murder on a whim? Look, you met some weird fucking trolls on this planet, and they all seem to have a pretty laissez-faire attitude about murder, so... No, you know what? Fine. If you're gonna be a pedantic, snot-nubbed little wriggler about it, I'll just recite the whole fucking law verbatim. Article 5, subsection 11, paragraph 68 of the second new code of Alternia jurisprudence describes your crime as... I got this. Having been, or possessing the capacity to be in the need of martial resource consumption for the purpose of curdling biological expiry existing in, of, around, or through imperial territory as one of unclassifiable sanguination mutants, one of extrasolar or origination alien, or one who plans to commit, has committed, or may possess the capacity to commit high crimes and fishmongered against for imperial condescension. Criminal. There. Happy now? Dang, this girl really knows her stuff. Of course I do. I'm not some fly-by-lunar cycle troll slaughter consultant. I'm a fucking professional. Reminds me of Saul Goodman. Clearly, how could you question her expertise on the subject of what is and is not technically a crime when there's so many books piled up haphazardly? You definitely are existing as an alien after all, and you guess that does by definition make you a criminal. And from the look of that noose, you doubt the punishment is something as quaint as being thrown in the slammer. So, is there an appeals process, or... She springs forward with surprising agility and presses her face right up against yours, sniffing you with alarming enthusiasm. Your game of candid appeal ignorance may convince the pan-scrambled clown fuckers and the cheap seats, but I smell deception dripping off you like a delicious marmalade. You'll have to do better than this if you really want to. She sniffs. Want to? Oh no. I'm fucking delicious. She sniffs again. Oh wait, no, it's gonna. Thank God. Did Kanaya make this dress? Oh, looking out. Yeah, you say. You and her are great friends, the best. In fact, you think she should message Kanaya right now to clear this all up, you know, like a character witness? I witnessed your character plenty, and it's as bland as they come. That's certainly not the worst contemplative noise you've ever heard. I may have misjudged you. If you tell anyone I said that, I'm going to cut off your arms and use them as finger paint bulges on your face until you bleed to death. You decided keeping this pointlessly mundane secret is definitely in your best interest. So does that mean you're free to go? Oh, not so fast. May have implies possibility, not certainty. Maybe Kanai gave you this dress because she likes you, or maybe you pressured her into it circumstantially. Maybe you're a delightfully clueless and well-intentioned interloper from beyond the stars. Or maybe you were sent here as a sleeper agent to learn all of our weaknesses so that the entities controlling you can sabotage our future. In cases such as these, I find the best course of action is to leave the verdict up to chance. She produces the double-headed coin with one side scratched out, and you immediately know where this is going. The terms are simple. Heads, and I release you from your bonds. Tails, and I release you from being alive. Is she really about to take you out like a gangster who just portrayed their duality-themed mob boss? Or you can request a less Saturday morning cartoon solution. She flips the coin in the air. Well, this is bad. It's bad, and it kind of makes you angry. This doesn't make sense. You didn't do anything. But here you are with a 50-50 chance of getting mercied by a jovial gremlin anyway. Does she think this is normal? Your head has cleared enough that you can zap away if you really tried, but something about this murder lawyer is stuck in your craw. Her devotion to justice is obvious, but it's a twisted and brutal justice, streamlined for violence and painfully efficient in enabling exactly that. If this mock trial is anything to go by, this is the same system that requires intersectoid eugenics robots to keep the peace after all. There's so much wrong here. And she doesn't even see it. You're an asshole. I mean, I said that to the reader. Like, metaphorically see it. Yeah, fuck you, guy. The coin is falling. Every tracing brings you closer to a fate that, regardless of outcome, wouldn't be fair. You decide to think about what should be fair. Just like that, you're standing next to her with a scream. You snatch her coin out of the air and hurl it full force through the window. My coin! Sorry, you shout, but she can't just expect you to accept the whims of chance when your life is on the line. Why not? Because that sucks. It's lame and dumb and really cliche. What is she, a comic book villain? Am I supposed to know what that is? You don't know. Troll culture seems to have a lot of really arbitrary similarities to human culture, and it's honestly very confusing. But that's besides the point. With a broad sweep of your arm, you gesture at her drawing of the honorary Tresorius or whatever, and ask what he would think of your little stunt just now. The trial isn't for him. We act like it is, but everyone knows he's just a big, hungry monster. So, then who? It's for the audience, obviously. By the time you make it to the stand, you're basically dead already. Don't the accused get a chance to defend themselves? Defend? Only the outrageously guilty would ever think to defend themselves in the court of law. Well, that's fucked up. What's the point of even having a trial then? Besides the sheer pleasure of watching all the hope slowly drain from someone's eyes as they confront their immediately approaching and inevitably gruesome execution? Yeah, besides that. It's a warning to the seditious of what happens when they cross the line. And that line is, Existing? Yep. The nonchalance of her answer underlines just how upsetting all this really is. You remember the loss you recited, and one part in particular sticks out to you. Unclassifiable sanguination. Didn't Karkat try to commiserate with you about having mutant blood or something? You know Karkat too? I keep waiting for him to fuss about team leaders, but now he won't shut up about this thing he calls a date. That's funny, because while Karkat would fuss about Dave, Terezi would literally just be shitposting with him. I really missed that in the comic, where it was just Terezi and Dave just kind of shitposting. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the dynamic with Karkat. They're great roommates. Oh wait, no, they kissed. I can't do that. They also got yelled at for making out in the laundry room. Like, listen, guys, I'm happy you're happy, all right? But can I do my fucking laundry in peace? Everyone was so worked up about the game, now they're just over it suddenly. Yeah, that's your fault. Karka would probably have a nuclear conniption if he knew you were about to say this, but you ask her if she's aware of his blood color. Of course I'm aware of it. What do you think I am, blind? Yes. Karkat's mean, right? If you remember correctly, that makes him guilty for the same crime you are. Her expression turns sour, and you can tell this is something she spent a lot of time trying not to think about. Yeah, because you two are besties. And besties typically won't, just murder each other. You figure she avoided summarily executing you because you're friends with her friends. So she would probably avoid killing Karkat as well, and that's a good thing. Great, in fact. You cannot stress enough how awesome that is. But doesn't that strike her as a bit hypocritical, making exceptions for her friends? Does she think that everyone else who dies at court or gets culled in their own hives deserves what they get, just because she doesn't know them personally? Doesn't matter what I think. It's just how things are. It sucks, but it would suck a lot worse to be killed for saying so. And then, who would protect Karkat? Who would protect... Yep. I can't help everyone, Cherry Cheeks. I can barely help my friends. Maybe if I stick to it long enough, I can change things from the inside. It's the best any of us can hope for. You guess that doesn't sound like the worst plan. In fact, it kind of reminds you of... Yep. The one... Indigo... Or not indigo. Green blood. Teal blood, I forget the exact name. She was essentially one of my favorites because she was just a quintessential college girl who spends all the time in class and has to go to work to pay for college expenses. That was literally her. Always tired, always had coffee. Of who? You feel a sadness well up in your heart so fast and heavy that it knocks you over into her and without meaning to. Zap. Your vision is swimming. Voices echo in your head, but you can't pick any of them out. You look around and something is watching you. Not maliciously. Not yet. Just observing from a curious distance. That you can do anything about it while you're clutching your head and trying to put your memories together. You've been circling around this awful familiar feeling ever since you left Earth. Drawn towards it like a singularity. The closer you get, the less it makes sense. What the fuck just happened? Did you just kill me just now? Is this troll hell? Troll hell? Do trolls not actually have a name for... Wait, she's here too? Here seems like an ambitious description. It's more of an ambiguous nexus of metaphysical realities. That's an awfully specific description. Has she been here before? No, but I've tasted places like it in my dreams. Great, even more shenanigans. You look around and try to get your bearings, but nothing seems to be in focus. It's all too low resolution. simultaneously too bright and too dark to make sense of. You okay over there, Cherry Cheeks? Your blood smells really loud right now. You wouldn't know how to react to that even if you weren't having a memory-induced thought seizure. The pieces are too far apart and you can't quite put it together, but you remember... friends? Bits of memory hit you. Sudden flashes of joy, of violence, smiling faces, crying faces, bodies, plans. Hope that the world could be made into a better place. What the fuck are you mumbling about? If you fried your think pan, at least let me in on it so I can participate. You tell her what you can remember, which isn't much. Friends, sadness, dissatisfaction. People who are deeply unhappy with the state of Alternia and face violence from all sides, just as your new friends do today. Some of them wanted to change it from the inside, and you remember believing that they could. But you get the sense that a lot of time has passed between now and then. It doesn't seem like Alternia has gotten much better. In fact, it may have gotten worse. It seems like whatever it was your friends tried to do, they failed. Of course they did. What does she mean by that? Even in the context of your nonsense time-traveling amnesia cover story, it's not that hard to believe. Compelling idiots have good ideas all the time. It doesn't change the fact that they're idiots. Which is why I'm going to succeed where everyone else had their entrails ripped out by a swarm of drones and die like the scrubs they were. I am many things, Cherry Cheek. Oh, Blue Circle, thank you for subscribing. Hope you're having a good day. An idiot isn't one of them. She flashes a bright and pointed smile, filled with a confidence that you believe from every atom in your body. But you're pretty sure she's not the first person to feel that way. Idiots or not, the friends you used to have were just as sure of themselves then as she is now. What good did it do? Honestly, you doubt that intelligence or confidence has much to do with it at all. You think about the drones you barely avoided at Carcat's Hive, and your brief exposure to what this planet calls a criminal justice system. For as violent and unjust as things could be on Earth, at least there's some pretext that the system existed to serve the people. Here, it's just murder. You aren't sure that's a system anyone could salvage. Your smile melts into a frown and... you really should ask what this troll's name is. Terezi Pryops. Terezi's not particularly happy as she slumps against a debatably extant wall and slides down to a crouch. Her face is a mask of barely contained emotion. I can tell why Carcat would like you. You're very depressing. You chuckle and sit down a respectful distance away from her. You definitely didn't mean to be depressing. We have a knack for digging up drama, the hazards of forging new friendships, you guess. If Vriska saw us right now, she'd be derisively laugh herself into an aneurysm. Terezi knows Vriska? That's one way to put it. We were practically sisters before she broke the rules and ruined everything. How do you know her? Oh, you know, you played some flarp, killed some kids, felt guilty about it, then threw Vriska's mom into a volcano? Wow, you really have gotten around. What's a mom? Oh, that is interesting. You'd think that was just about the saddest thing you've ever heard get said if you didn't already know what a Lucis was. You killed her, Lucis? So she's... that explains why she's been messaging me. Huh. Terezi's laughing, but it isn't like any laughter you've ever heard. I can't fucking believe it. Sirket figures her shit out just in time for me to have my own identity crisis. And I bet she thinks everything's supposed to be fine between us now just because... Want to know a secret, Cherry Cheeks? Might as well add another one to the policy, eh? I have no idea what I'm doing. Never have, and now I don't think I ever will. Wow, that's bleak. You guess you're sorry? It's not your fault. You haven't told me anything I don't already know. Her lips are trembling as she reaches behind her and pulls out a box of chalk, and then removes a red piece. You think this is a weird time for artistic expression, but... oh, she's eating it. Terezi offers you a piece. You don't want to be rude, but you also really don't want to eat chalk. She shrugs and crunches it like an unshelled lobster. You guys have to take this in stride. The more important thing is that Terezi's inconsolably sad, which sucks because you're the only person in a position to console her. I want to say it's distraction. I'm going to do hug first. You don't know how to fix this. You don't know how to make Trezzy feel better. The best you can think is just put your arms around her. Despite the fact that you're a complete stranger who basically just kidnapped her, she welcomes the embrace. I hate her for what she did. Not to me, but to our friends. All but went to war over it. After our truce, we cut ties. My hope was that she would avoid hurting anyone else. But deep down, I knew she'd have to kill her eventually. I would have to kill her eventually, in the name of justice. She did terrible things, but so did I. We did some of them together. Why wasn't I culpable? Why did I blame her for something we did to each other? I think it's regrettably natural to blame the person in front of you when you get hurt, especially when the real problem is too big and esoteric to stab through the chest with a sword cane. Vriska did what she did because she had to. So did I. We both deserved the revenge we wrought on each other, but we were all victims of the big picture. It made us what we are. Ensured we would do what we did. Every little injustice started there. And when we fight, whoever painted that picture smiles and laughs because they know they've already won. She sits up a little straighter and you feel your spine follow suit almost on its own. Fuck that. Trezzy slips out of your arms and stands up, pulling you to your feet with her. Her entire demeanor has changed. She's practically vibrating with determination. Take me to Vriska's hive. I'm assuming that's a thing you can do. Oh, yeah, that's a thing you can do. Your mind is still buzzing, but talking to Rezzy has calmed that storm just enough for you to focus. As you take her hand, you spare a last look around this bizarre, impossible space. You still feel watched, but it's distant now, maybe even approving. You have so many questions, but those will have to wait. Right now, you've got work to do. Zap. Before you even see where you've landed, Trezzy marches up to a very surprised Vriska and backs her up against the wall. She stops just a few feet away, looking up at the cerulean spider girl with anger on her face. Despite their difference in stature, Vriska is intimidated. You caught her off guard and Trezzy is unflinching. The room is completely silent. You see Trezzy clenching her fist. She looks one wrong move away from unleashing hell. Nah, they're gonna cry hug. Probably not. There isn't quite what you had in mind when you brought her out here. And you really hope your new friend ain't here to fight. They're not gonna fight. Well, they'll bicker, but they're not gonna fight. Something in the air changes. You aren't entirely sure what's happening, but something is definitely happening. You figure it's best to just cross your arms and pretend you don't exist. Trezzy's posture softens. Her hands relax as she breathes a soft sigh. Trezzy straightens up, letting her own tension dissipate. You guys are feeling a little less tense yourself. When Vriska cracks a hesitant smile, Trezzy leans back. She sniffs in the air intensely, which feels like a good sign. Everyone's getting a little looser, a little more casual, definitely an improvement. Then they both start cackling, slapping their knees like they've just heard the most hilarious knock-knock joke in history. You'd sure like to get in on the joke too, but you figured it'd probably be rude to ask. They just been emoting in front of each other. And then they hug. You're not actually sure what just happened, but you figure hugging is a powerful platonic friend activity, even in the worst of times. It's gotten you this far, after all. Yeah, that's all this is. Just two gal pals hugging it out. It's so sweet you could cry. When they separate, Trezzy meanders over to the window overlooking the pit where Trezzy's Lucis used to live. So, she is dead. Oh yeah, I'm real broken up about it too. Vriska winks at you. No, you're not. No, I'm not. Trezzy turns and leans up against the windowsill. You have a lot to make up for. That's why I've been messaging you. I want to apologize, okay? I don't want your apology, Vriska. I have a lot to make up for, too. There's definitely some kind of something going on in this room that you're completely oblivious to. I wonder what went down between these girls that they can't even talk about what they're talking about. What do you mean? There's so much injustice in this world. Every drop of deliciously innocent and painfully excruciating blood on this planet is just pain for the fishy fucks up top to play with. And the worst part is that we're complicit. We revel in it even. I reveled in it. Trezzy, are you? They could never make this violence good, so they had to make it fun. And I had so much fun hurting people. Who knows how long I would have gone on like that if it hadn't been for our weird invasive species of friends here. Trezzy wipes a tear from her cheek and smiles at you, and you feel a huge wave of relief. Friends, a former murder lawyer in training, sure know how to pick 'em. For once, Vriska, I want to revel in something good. I want them to feel the razor's edge of their own justice. I want their blood to stain the dirt beneath my feet like the pathetic wriggling insects they are, but I can't do it alone. I don't want to do it alone. You watch as Terezi takes in a measured breath. For just a moment, you can imagine her standing in a room full of determined people just behind the person everyone else would call the leader, smiling a wicked smile. She's not the one who commands the stage, you think. She's the one who controls the spotlight. She's the one who knows what happens next, the seer. I'm not sure what we are together anymore, Vriska. I've hated you. I felt a lot of things. What I know is that we're dangerous, and fate seems determined to make us rivals. That almost sounds fun, doesn't it? We could fight for the rest of our lives if we wanted to. Each the scourge of the other until one or both of us winds up dead. Alexa, play Troll Hamilton. They tell stories about us for a long time, but I don't want that to happen anymore. Do you? No. You haven't known Vriska very long, but this is a side of her you've never seen. You doubt many people have. It's actually really awkward. You should probably go, but your pride and curiosity and desire for interpersonal closure keep you glued to the spot. We had the right idea in the wrong circumstances, but this time, I think we could really do something together. So let's try this again. Vriska, will you be my scourge sister? Yeah, obviously. Good. Then let's get to fucking work. Oh. The two shit starters are back together. They share a look that can't be quite red, but you get the feeling that this was a resounding success. Scourge sisters reunite. That's just so good. Oh, because even at the end of Homestuck proper, was that a cat? No, it's not a cat. I'm just hallucinating. Vriska was still a lone wolf. Winning was still everything, even when the timeline was changed, so the betrayal didn't happen. But even still, Vrishka still left. Well, she didn't leave. She did what she had to stop Lord English. But then coming back in Homestuck 2, I'm I'm interested in what her goal is. I'm sure epilogues didn't help, but Homestuck 2 is trying to right the wrongs. Because Terezi still wants to be with Vrishka. And Vrishka, Vriska, Vrishka. I tell you, I just added noises to words. What was the one I was talking about earlier? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I just add in the sh for a lot of words when I don't need to. And again, I don't know where the verbal tick came from. Vriska, Vriska, Vriska. Ugh. I kind of don't want to do any of the bad endings for that. I like that image. Some habits. You helped Equius flex the most important muscle of all, a smile. Oh, Tavros. Oh, you awkward child. All right. Glimmering gold and cold iron. You're enjoying a brisk, head-clearing walk in the Alternian moonlight when the plot comes screaming towards you. Literally, you don't even have time for introspection. Ah! You turn your head to see a guy in a wheelchair whizzing down a nearby hill. He's got a phone in one hand, making it difficult for him to control his descent with the other. You quickly rush over in time to see him hit a rock and go flying towards the air with an impressive arc. Ugh. You bring the fallen wheelchair over to him. He stares at you for a second, then pulls himself back into it with a grunt. Thank you, weird and ugly alien stranger. Fuck you too, buddy. Fuck you too. Once you settle into the chair, you look over the boy you just helped. He's lanky and scrawny except for his oversized horns, giving the impression of a boy going through a very awkward puberty. His wheelchair is simple and flimsy, and it looks like it's gone through a lot of wear and tear. Oh, introductively speaking, I should say that my name is Tavros. Tavros? As is now usual for you, the name sounds familiar even though you're not sure any of your other friends mention him by name. You give him a proper greeting and then ask what happened. And he nods towards an old watchtower at the top of the hill, as attempting to scale down towards the tower. Those are ancestor horns. To acquire a rare Fedu spawn Go monster, what is named Wolvapine, it's ranked Aether Mythic Triple Rare class, which is one of the rarest of all, at least concerning monsters that can be found in low-blooded neighborhoods. But it appears to be tragically out of my reach, no matter how much I believe in my ability to pursue it. You don't know what Fedu spawn is, but maybe you could help. You've wrangled a few monsters in your time. Those are Western dad deer head-on truck. Oh yeah, yep. What? You know, you could help push him up the hill, maybe fight some giant, horrifying beast, the usual. While I normally am expected to do everything myself always, the only trolls who offer me help are those who live too far away to actually do anything of consequence. Which is fine, I get it, but it's pretty useless to me. Anyway, no. What? I don't want your help, on account of if I take it, I will be weakening myself and failing to grow as a troll. I will just have to try again and again and get grievously hurt in the process, probably. Don't worry. Davros begins to wheel back towards the hill. You know how this story goes. You'll have to spend your entire evening convincing this poor troll boy that's okay to accept help from others. You launch into a gentle pitch about how help from a friend can... Oh, well, if you say so, then I accept your help. Oh, that was easy. You follow Travers up the hill. When he reaches the steepest part and his wheels begin to lose traction, you step in behind him to give him a little push he needs. The two of you are successful in scaling the hill, and Tavros grins and taps at his phone. Oh, it's a phone game. No real monsters involved. Holy shit, this is new to you. Yes, Wolverpine's now apart. Thank you so greatly. Maybe the cartoons for regulars were right all along, and friendship is truly the greatest source of power to exist. I don't remember. No, Tavros did have bite to him, but I think most of the intro was him either talking to the people he got along with really well, or Vriska, and with Vriska he could never talk back to. But if I do remember, he does have bite to him, even at the start. Like, I think the other thing is that he's not talking to a troll, so he might be more willing to talk shit as well. Because, oh, Like, he was willing to call you an ugly alien because, again, you're not a troll. He doesn't have to care what you think. So I think that's why we get to see him talk back, actually, to you. And also to his, like, backhand his friends who are, they're nice, but they can't help, but they always offer their help. It's because, oh, hey, I don't have to worry about the troll hierarchy. I don't have to worry about being cold. If anything, you're the culpable one here. Finally, someone who gets you. You ask if he wants a quick ride home, and he tilts his head in confusion. I already have a ride, always. I'm sitting in it. No, not like that. You tell him it's hard to explain. Just trust me on this one. Okay, let's go. With that, you grip his chair and focus your energy and zap on over to his hive. Whoa, are you magic? Yes. Awesome. Do you have any fairies? No. Shucks. Charles glances around the room when you follow suit. Your eyes fell on the advertisement for the theatrical run of Pupa Pan. A pinch of special stardust is all it takes to fly. Brought to you by Her Imperious Condescension's 19th favorite theater company, reserved seating for high bloods. Hecklers will be cold. The rest of the room is rather plain and sparsely decorated. The floor is scattered with messy gaming supplies. Sir, this is my hive. What do you think? Would you characterize this pad as sufficiently? Give me a moment. The various cats right now are asleep in their different spots. Rita's on my brother's bed, Sayla's on my bed, and Chara's on the couch. I'm assuming though in like the next hour or two, Sayla's gonna come demanding attention. You glance at a friend of a Fey trickster in booty shorts. Sure, yeah, this pad is cool as hell. Excellent, I hoped you would. Your fool is most good to have. I thought you might be uninterested on account of me being boring and kind of... And this is reverse because constant nagging of him. Boring and sad kids are your favorite. You tell Tavros. Wait, that sounds terrible. Ignore that. You mean you relish the opportunity to make people less sad. Oh, don't worry then, because I am definitely sorrowful enough to satisfy. Also, I'm not great at talking either, so we have at least one point of failure in common. Thanks. Tavros flies you with a thumbs up and a wink. Why do I remember... There's like a scene on the meteorite, or I say a scene, it's not really a scene, it's like a mini arc Tavros have where he just becomes kind of insufferable. Like, this part is fine, but I'm just remembering that now. Yeah, that happened. I remember, like, remember that feeling, but I don't remember what happens though. That's why I'm a little hesitant to say it. It's like, why do I feel this? Why do I feel this? Oh yeah, his ego got too big. That's right. Wasn't it that he thought he became his alter ego or whatever? And then like he starts talking to Jade or whatever in like her worst moments. He got into the manosphere and became an alpha chat. So Psychotastic actually said on Netflix there is a manosphere documentary, whatever. I've been meaning to watch that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get my brother to watch it though, but it should be something very fun to. I think it'll be nice background noise for when I play Wizardry. He wheels closer to you, and one of his scattered cards crunches under a thread and gets stuck, necessitating a bit of finagling. You must admit, you're a little surprised by the wheelchair. Your experience with Alternia would suggest that their culture is not very kind to the disabled. Oh, it very isn't. There's a long story behind the fact of me being like this. Kanaya says not to talk about it because it hurts my self-esteem. Oh, okay, that's fine. Turn your attention to some of his cards. Perhaps he can teach you. Well, if you insist, I'll reveal to you my tragic backstory. I used to be more of a hardcore gamer who would do the extreme role plays, and I had a friend who, or I thought she was my friend, who I did flarp with. Oh, you're a familiar flarp. You're a play nights. Kind of think of it. You've got a great flarp friend whom he might love to meet. Well, I don't play anymore because this old friend of mine did a bad thing to me, resulting in a chain of revenge that was very tragical. Essentially, the story is that I was thrown off a cliff psychically and became heavily injured, which resulted in my legs not working. Oh god, that sounds terrible. The culprit continues to hassle me sometimes in ways which are supposedly remorseful, but also continues to make me feel bad. For instance, trying to make me learn how to climb stairs or fight better, or telling me I'm useless and awful because I can't. Although she also sent me this 4-wheeled device which helps me not to be cold, so that's nice, I guess. Although maybe she wouldn't have done that if Kanai didn't say to. I don't know, she's hard to understand. Sometimes very nice and other times extremely not nice, and I can't figure out how much she truly feels about me. Oh, wow, this girl Tavros is talking about seems like a real piece of work. You sure are glad none of your friends are anything like that. Man. I'm glad that fucking spider's dead. That's all I gotta say about this. But now, Vriska's in go mode again, but... I mean, at least with the spider being dead so early, and her making amends with Terezi so early, I feel like this will only go in a more or less positive trajectory for her girl boss. For how Vriska is. Because that's the thing, like, she was only like that because it literally was, I am a survivor. And Tavros, the atrocities that I face are not even the worst. Like, you need to bulk up, son. Like that's the thing, like... I'm sure now, to Tavros, she'd still push hard. But I think I just think she shouldn't interact with Tavros at all. But I do think Tavros needs a push. It's just that Vriska, because again, survivor mode, went about it the worst way possible. But that's in the past, and this has already happened. Tavros is like this right now. But who knows, maybe with Vriska not being such a douchebag. And that's the thing, like, she doesn't know it's intense because this was every day for her. It was soul crushing, but it's like she said, everyone has their own story pretty much. Everyone has a reason to not want to try. But those who have that feeling usually die first, and I'm not going to die. I will live. And then she was also inspired with the stories for her ancestors. But then again, like, I don't know who could be the one to, like, obviously we're here. Getting to that curve, it fucking was. Because that's, like, also another thing of, like, you had to be there and you had to kill the spider. And then you also had to talk to Terezi. Like, I think it'd be funny if Aquinas, like, pats Tavros on the shoulder, accidentally pushes them against the wall. It's like, don't worry, Tavros, we will make you even stronger. I think that'd be a good dynamic. Let's get Aquinas to help with Tavros in his training arc. I think that'd be great. Yes, because this is before the... Jane. I could also see Roxy. Because I'm assuming all these characters are going to meet up at this point. Somehow, they're going to meet up all at this point. I think Roxy would be another good one. Dave, I think too many things would go over Tavros' head. I think Dave and Dirk would just be too much. Jake and... I don't think Jake would be... Maybe Jake would be able to help. I don't know. I think under the supervision of Roxy and Jane. Because Jake is about hope. And I think Tavros could use some of that with, as well as like the self-esteem help from like Roxy and, oddly enough, Equius. But I don't think many of the trolls could help. Because he already has like a negative impression of the ones who already want to help. I don't think they've ever interacted as well. Only as like a ghost, but then at that point, like Tavros was already fused to something else. But then again, like I'm a little foggy on if they've even interacted under those circumstances. But I think Jake would be a good push from again. I think that under the supervision of Jane and Roxy. Yeah, I know. And again, I think legitimately the only troll that'd be like a positive force from at this point would be Equius. Yeah, because Gamzee and him do rap battles. Kanaya says, cares for him. But I think he also has contempt for Kanaya. Because because that's what he says, like, oh, they say they help, but they're nowhere near me, so their help means little. Even though, like, he admits that Kanaya is probably the big reason why Vriska made him the wheelchair. But again, but he's in a very, he's in a tough situation already, so it's like, he's angry. I don't blame him. He has bite to him. It's like the whole Sinclair thing, or it's kind of like the Sinclair thing in Limbus, where yeah, he's a little sad and everything, and like he can act, and you see him as someone who's just depressed, but no, he has a bite to him, and that's why he has like 3 burn egos, mainly with wrath in them, and he has no sinking ego or no sinking ID besides the Marachi one, but even that one isn't really a sinking ID. 3 burn IDs, 0 sinking IDs. Again, I don't really count the Mariachi one as a sinking ID. That one is just a weird amalgamation of Season 1's fuckery. Or either you were God tier, or you turned God tier when Tier 4 came out. But only a few got blessed with that. Why don't I teach you how to play? The Sinks are the Sinclairs we met along the way. Oh no. Tavros freezes up instinctually. Everything comes to him in a second. And then in that second, He relives his life up to this moment of why did I get to this? Oh no. Oh no, that's her. The one who injured me. Oh no. Your spying ice is over. While Tavros is having that one second to rethink his life, you too are taking a second to rethink your life. You recognize that telltale exaggerated call. But how can this be? How can your dear, sweet, precious friend Vriska have done such a horrible thing to... Okay, yeah, no, this tracks. Maybe she did do one thing wrong. But why? This isn't like the other kids she killed. You know Vriska is violent and volatile. She had to be to survive, but to harass Tavros after the fact instead of just feeding him to her Lucius? Doesn't make sense. You feel sick to your stomach. Hey, Tavros, you haven't been answering my messages. We need to talk. I wish Terenzi was here to wrangle her. Her voice comes from outside the window as it moves around the perimeter of the house. You glance at Tavros' stricken face as you hear the sound of keys jingling in the lock. Fuck, she has the keys to his hive? Oh, I thought my option was gonna be escape before she gets in here, but nope. Look who's here, folks, without Terezi. Tavros groans and leans back in his chair. Vriska barges into the respite block and then freezes up. Oh. Hey. Hey, you say with an awkward wave. Vriska seems uncomfortable. I didn't know you knew this dork. It's a friendship in progress. Tavros has told you some things about their past together. Of course he has. Okay, listen. I know it sounds bad because it is, and I get that, okay? Way back when, it was less than a sweep ago, I was part of a flark campaign that went off the rails and Tavros ended up getting thrown off a cliff. It was basically my fault. But that's all in the past now. Things are better now. I hooked Tavros up with a sweet wheelchair and everything. It's not that sweet. Shut up, Tavros. I'm talking about how terrible I feel about hurting you. Tavros cringes. You tried to intercede on his behalf. Why is Vriska here? Alright, I'm here to extend my olive branch. Very magnanimously so, if you ask me. Trez and I are getting the band back together. Not for Flarp, obviously. That ship has sailed. But we're going to whip this plan into shape and we need all the help we can get. You spend enough time moping around uselessly. It's time for some action. You're in, right? Vriska, I need you to back the fuck up, and I need you to have Terezi here right now. I need an adult. No? What do you mean, no? I mean, I don't really want to do anything exciting or dangerous like that. And especially because you're going to be involved, I don't think it'd be good for me to also be... Oh, come on. Things are totally square between us, Tavros. We all got hurt. Besides, I'm just trying to help you live up to your potential. You could be somebody. You could finally start living up to your legacy. I don't want to be somebody. At least not your kind of somebody. Tough luck there, Toreador. Toreador. Nani? The masquerade. None of us get that choice. If nothing changes by the time your rights at maturation rolls around, you're screwed. The drones will call you in an instant. Vriska turns to you. Her eye is wide. Her fist is trembling. Her frustrated glare barely conceals the desperation beneath. I mean, you agree with me, right? Tavros needs to shape up. He needs us. It is time we put the past behind us and move on. I'm just trying to help him. She leans closer. It's obvious she wants you to back her up. Man, I wish Terezi was here. Okay, Vriska, look me in the eyes, alright? You take a step closer to Tavros and Vriska visibly deflates. Come on, Rikku. You can't seriously be on his side. Yes, you can be, and you are. You think you understand now. You see how Vriska took her suffering and bitterness and passed it along. You see how, underneath beastly tutelage, she learned to sink her fangs into her prey and tell herself she was doing it for her own good. In these two, you see a microcosm alternia of kids hurting kids. And finally, and finally the buck stops at the kindest or weakest among them. So, no matter how much sympathy you have for her, you can't stand idly by and let Vriska continue the cycle of hurt. Tell Vriska to look at Tavros, really look at him, and ask her herself if she's helped, and ask herself if her help has done anything for him. Isn't this the kind of suffering that she and Terezi want to prevent? Right now, the best thing she can do for Tavros is leave him alone. Leave him alone? You don't get it. None of you do. If I leave him alone, he's toast. Seriously, how have you not figured that out by now? We've seen what kind of plan this is like. You think we can just flip a switch and fix everything over a day? He's a worthless loser living in a world that hates losers. And if that doesn't change, he's going to die a sad, pathetic death. And you and Kanaya and everyone else, you're just enabling him. When he croaks, it's going to be on your head, not mine. So if you'd rather hang out with Tavros in his make-believe fairyland, be my guest. But some of us are still going to be alive, going to be living here in the real world. You and Vriska spend a while staring at one another. All you can muster is a look of pity, which only seems to incense her further. Her face crunches up and then goes steely and flat. Her voice is icily calm. You have fun. I'm out. Vriska slams the door shut as she leaves. Tavros exhales a long sigh of relief. Oh, that went pretty well for an encounter with Vriska, all things considered. I only feel somewhat terrible about who I am. Slowly and gently, you place a comforting hand on Tavros' shoulder and tell him that he deserves better than this. Not his fault. Vriska is difficult. Yeah, Kanaya says that too. I sometimes almost believe her when she does. The room was silent except for a faint wriggling noise coming from some of the balls on Tavros' floor. You know what else to say. Would you enjoy playing some Fido spawn with me, perhaps? As a matter of distraction? Oh, fuck yes, you tell him. Let's spawn some feeder? Viduses? Yeah. Your FLARP experience inured you to Turnian game design, so you're only mildly nauseated when Tavros shows you how the physical version of Fido spawn works. Chitinous purple critters explode from gooey orbs and infest plushies before bursting out in some form of large creature with more limbs than you're comfortable with. Also, you have a handful of cards which boost their attributes or allow you to interfere with your opponent's monsters. There's a lot to keep track of here. For too long, the room was full of chittering purple monstrosities and quasi-looking host plushies on the verge of birthing even more abominations. You are so lost. But you think you're winning. Your creatures appear to be doing a better job of preying on his host plushies and spawn more of themselves. You got a meter in the corner that keeps going up while his goes down. That's good, right? I think it's good, at least where victory is concerned. But you are more concerned with the dejected look on Tavros' face. He doesn't seem to be giving the game his all. You ask him if he's doing okay. No. Oh, okay. Just come out and say it. My fun has been stymied, I think, by my thoughts about Vriska. He wheels himself forward to the window and looks despondently out. I used to like Vriska a lot, and admire her for her many qualities that were good, such as being very confident or having skill at games. And I just hate her. Or feel like I should hate her, but instead do not feel those feelings. In their place, I feel conflicted and bad about myself, and wonder if there is something wrong that I can't feel as angry as I should, or make myself become strong enough to talk to her properly about my feelings. It's just a big mess. You glance again at the poster lining Tavros' walls. Sprightly fairy girls with confident smiles, long messy hair, and blue color schemes. The resemblance to Vriska is uncanny but superficial. She's never going to be like the girl from his posters. That's just not who Vriska is. But for a sad her boy who likes to dream, she must seem so painfully close. This is a problem too big for you to untangle right now. You need to redirect Tavros' thoughts. Close your eyes and ask your intuition, what should you do? From From the darkness, you reach into your muddled memories and catch a glimpse of glimmering gold. When your eyes open, Poopa Pan stares back at you. Unlike him, you don't have special stardust, but you think you might have something better. You tell Tavros he'll be right back. Sort of. The now familiar Prosperian spires greet you. You swoop through in shiny architecture until you find these towers that seem to house the dreaming children. Sure enough, Tavros's dream self can be found in one tower, nestled comfortably in a Rikku. You poke him on the cheek. No response. You give him a little shake. Nothing. With a sigh, you rear back your hand and slap him. Hard. Tavros remains asleep. He's practically comatose. Why? This feels off. Karkat is awake, and Tavros isn't. Something about that is just wrong. It's all wrong. How do you know Tavros under these circumstances? He's got to wake up. It's all wrong. You need to wake him up. Why won't he? Tavros yawns as he rises wearily from his slumber and squints around. He crawls out of the cocoon and reaches out over the ramp beside it with an instinctual motion. Why is that glitch there? And then rises quickly and realizes with a start that he is floating in midair. Whoa, what? Surprise! You informed Tavros that this is a mythical world of dreams, that this is a part of the game he was supposed to play one day, but now isn't going to. Maybe? Probably? You'll be honest, you still don't know how exactly this works. But you do know that this is a land where he can fly. That seems highly improbable that such a world would exist, or especially that I'd be allowed to enter it and fly freely around with no repercussions. It just seems like a thing that would never eventually happen to me. Does it not? But it is happening, you tell him. You prove by pinching his arm. He flinches. Why did you just assault me? It's a thing. Pinching is okay, this is a cultural misunderstanding, but the fact that he can feel pain should prove that this place is real, or at least as real as Magic Dream World can be. I see, my arm does certainly hurt in a realistic manner, as well as my feelings due to the uncalled for attack from a friendly individual. Oh, for fuck's sake, you tell Tavros to stop worrying about that and start unworrying about how he can fly now. Oh yeah! With unsteady movements, Tavros begins to circle his dream room. He holds his hands out as he sails around, floating upwards and then dipping down. He seems to get the hang of it quickly. As he does, his face cracks into a warm smile. Oh, this feels really amazing. At your invitation, Tavros follows you out the window and sees Prospect stretching towards him. His eyes go all starry. Can I really explore all this area? You can, you tell him. Probably. Just don't go barging into anyone's house. Hell, okay. Tavros does loops and twirls, pirouettes around spires, and weaves through throngs of Prosperian civilization. He hoots and hollers, the anxious crescendo in his voice nearly ascend. The sound echoes among the golden towers and rebounds back at you. A cacophony of childlike exhilaration. You swoop alongside him, buoyed by his excitement, and the two of you begin to race each other around the planet. You run out of energy before Tavros does. Whenever he comes down from his high, he floats lazily beside you, upside down, his mohawk hanging down into his face. His eyes are locked on the sky and clouds, and he's wearing a wide, if oddly blank, grin. Hey, I want to thank you for doing this for me, allowing me to feel this freedom and joy. It really means a lot. You grin and give him a thumbs up. You're glad you could help. Yeah, me too. You glance up at the clouds. How long have you been out here? You figure it's probably time to head back to the real world. You tell him to teleport back and then wake him up. Oh, what? No. Don't wake me up, please. I don't want to go back to that life when I could spend my days here forever feeling blissful and happy for once. You pause. That's not the response you were expecting, although I suppose you should have seen this coming. What about his friends, his responsibilities in the waking world? What happens when the drones come knocking? Well, those are pertinent questions which I don't care about, though. This is where I am happy, where I belong. That's what you wanted, right? To help me be happy? Right. Then your work here is done. He smiles at you, and you feel like you should smile back, but there's a hint of sadness behind his eyes that gives you pause. It's like he's waiting for you to take charge and tell him off for choosing escapism. waiting for you to make the hard decision he doesn't have the guts to make. But that's not the kind of person you are. If he'd rather spend most of his time asleep, that's good enough for you. Given the planet he lives on, you can't blame him. So you give him a little wave and vanish into the ether of canon. By the time he wakes up the nerve to say something, you're already gone. From the darkness, you reach into your muddled memories and catch a glimpse of cold iron. When you open your eyes, Pan stares back at you. He would have you believe that faith is all it takes to fly, but you think Tavros could do something a little more material. You put a gentle hand on his shoulder and ask him what you can do to help him spread his wings. His metaphorical wings, that is. It's not like he could ever sprout real ones. The very thought is absurd. Tavros sighs. I just wish I could live more independently, I guess. To take charge of my life and become less under Vriska's thumb. You think Tavros could use some better friends. Real friends. I do have some. Nepeta is very kind to me often. Gamzee and I like to throw down some sick rhymes, and Kanaya tries to help me with Vriska. But there's not a lot they can do when we live far away. And as nice as my Lucis is, he's unable to help me with all of my issues, due to his small size limiting him to only moving and carrying small objects to me when I require them. The simple fact is that I didn't build up my hive with the expectation of one day using a four-wheel device to navigate it. Can Tavros move to a better hive? Could you help him with that? No. As a bronze, the stipend I receive is not enough to cover such things. Even this four-wheel device, which is highly basic compared to some high-blood models, would have cost me over a wipe's worth of savings. You've changed their bill to me now. Economically speaking, especially where I want to not alert drones to my unsuitedness for troll expectations. You see, if money is the issue, that's not something you can help him with, at least not directly, but you know others who can. You tell Tavros that you're going to step out for a moment to fetch a mutual friend. Oh. He seems briefly surprised when you return of Kanaya. You guess you don't blame him. This strikes you as a pretty rare pairing, conversationally speaking. Oh, Kanaya, it's nice to see you in person, unexpectedly. Wow, my hive is terrible looking, sorry, but, hi? You look nice. Yes, I do. Own it, Kanaya. How are you faring? Has my advice regarding the construction of an imaginary friend helped aid your self-esteem? Well, I haven't really gotten to try it yet, so no, it hasn't, I guess? Kanaya suppresses a sigh. Okay, well, let's get directly to business. Kanaya's so stoic most of the time, and it's because of that, when she expresses, it's so good. It's so fucking good. I brought some materials with which to renovate your hive. Oh, please advise us how to best to redesign the place to suit your needs. Tavros' eyes water up and he sniffs, leaning forward in his chair. Really? You would do that for me? Despite taking a large portion of time and effort and presumably money as well? I don't really spend my stipend on much besides fabric. And I intend to twist Vriska's arm until she offers a portion of her flarping treasure to fit the bill too. And of course, I do it for you. Any less would be a rejection of my helpful sensibilities. Kanai says it with a neutral tone and a straight face as if it was nothing remarkable about it, but Tavros nevertheless breaks into a grin. Wow, thanks. Okay, give me some time to develop ideas on how to properly jack this hive up and deliver the most utterly dope and pimped up changes. This is going to be so great. You give Tavros the requested time, and they begin the work in earnest. You weren't sure what to expect, but the construction process proves smoother than anticipated. Kanai brings a set of alien devices which she claims to have borrowed from a sea-dwelling friend of hers. One converts raw materials into a strange substance that reminds you of fruit gushers. Kanai fells trees for his chainsaw and feeds them into the machine. Before long, you have a trove of the gusher things. The other device expends the gushers to modify buildings. It's a holographic click-and-drag interface much like The Sims played in real life. You find this construction software to be incredibly handy and also eerily familiar. But honestly, you find everything eerily familiar these days. Yes, it's very convenient. Home construction has been an important part of troll culture for as long as history remembers. Most do not know why, although to me the reason is obvious. Preparation for the game, which we will now no longer be playing due to outside interference. Wait, she knows about that? Yes. I figured out what was going on a day or two after you visited me, but I thought it prudent to not get particularly dramatic about it. That was very thoughtful of her. Yeah, I tried. You and fucking Aradia. Kanai finishes feeding logs into the first device and begins to manipulate Tavros' hive with the other. Together, you are a clockwork team. Tavros provides directions, Kanai implements them with her stellar sense of design, and you provide moral support by standing around looking cute. Okay, yes. Nudge that shelf over to the left. Yeah, like that. Wait, actually, right. Further? Okay, no, go back. Tavros, decide. A bit more. That's almost good. Now make it a little tad higher. Yes, no, look. I'm with Kanai on this. I need you to decide today. There, right there. And yes, perfect, I think. Okay, actually, can you go back to where it first was? I ought to strangle you, homeboy. In the end, it takes until the next day to finish construction, which is actually a great time. You're expecting to have to zap forward once or twice for the sake of narrative brevity, but with the Alternian build tools, Tavros' hive is swiftly renovated. It is far more spacious than it once was, with ramps and rails aplenty. Under Tavros' guidance, you widened hallways, lowered counters, revamped bathrooms. It's like a brand new house. You don't have a ribbon to cut in celebration, so Tavros summons some bizarre Fido spawn creature to shoot confetti all over the entrance to the hive. It's all gross and sticky, and you hate every second of it, but he's having fun. After that, Tavros spends a while exploring the hive. He wheels himself through each block, awed by the ease with which he can navigate the space. By the time he returns to his respite block, his grin is radiant. You take it he likes the new place. Oh yes. This pad is now genuinely frigid. It makes me feel more confident, like the world is my beviled jewel container. Like I could say to Vriska, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, biatch. Someone's been watching MTV. Okay, I won't say that probably, but I could. Actually, maybe I will say, oh my gosh, your ego. Actually, maybe I will say that, as well as plenty of other deliriously rude things, which long I have avoided saying. I'm with Kanaya on this one. Oh, that's probably enough. You tell him Kanaya is Kanaya is staring icingly at him, but he doesn't seem to notice. You suggest that's a good time to settle down. The sun's going to be rising pretty soon. Right. While we still have some moonlight, would you like to stay for a while, Kanaya, and play some video games with us? Oh no, that's quite alright. I'm afraid I have duties to attend to at home. I left a dress in the oven. God bless you, Kanaya. God bless you. Kanaya blinks and carefully maintains her poise. It's made out of clay, you see. I'm getting experimental. Oh, that makes sense. Well, goodbye. She smiles at Tavros and shoots you a pointed glance. You take it as your cue to place a hand on her shoulder, concentrate on her hive, and send her back in a flash of light. Once she's gone, Tavros wheels up to you and nudges you in the hip. So, regarding Kanaya, this could perhaps be me misreading the situation. When I reach deep inside and tap into the marvelous power of the self-esteems, it tells me that I'm very right and... Did you see the way that she was smiling at me? Almost in a way to suggest amorous inclin... You know what? I take back everything I said. You know what? Vriska can help you, Tavros. I'm done. Rikku doesn't like this guy. He waggles his eyebrows furiously in your direction. Oh geez, you tell Tavros that's just what friendship looks like. She's not his type, trust me, you say. Drat. But oh well. I think there's a saying about this, that the sea has many fish in it. Now that I'm feeling better, I think perhaps I will one day go fishing. Gotta go for the arms next. I think I will one day go fishing for a quadrant or two. Well, it's a start. It's gonna take some time for this kid to figure out what genuine self-esteem is like. Yeah, but just like the Prosperian clouds part to reveal a brilliant sky in blue, you think Tavros is on the verge of seeing the sun. The moon? This metaphor works better on Earth. Tavros can be more than he is, and he doesn't need to change to do it. When he offers you a smile, there's a spark of compassion behind it that tells you he's already worth the world. All he ever needed was someone to believe in him. And money. He also needed money. So would you like to perhaps celebratorily play a round or two of Fighter Spawn with me? I am feeling much more prepared to enjoy a game, and perhaps think that this time I'll proceed to crush you with my incredible might as a Fighter Spawn breeder. Except, I mean that in a nice way, like that of a friendly challenge, if you'll accept. The word friend in that sentence was all you needed to hear. Alright, I'll give him a week. If that ego doesn't settle, I'm sending Brishka on him. And I think, honestly, that's the fairest compromise I can give. It's almost like I'm Pawn Star, and I'm giving you the $10 for the ancient jewel. That's all you're getting, and it's a fair price. All right. Now, which Arati are we dealing with? I do not remember how she was, or when she turned into a robot. I'm pretty sure. Accessibility design, lockable cities, and money. Always the money. What are you doing here? What are you doing on this awful planet? You walk? You walk and you don't stop walking. You walk until the moons are high in the sky and the lights from the city are all but fade. You walk until you can't think about anything but walking anymore. Then you zap. Zap, 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 zap. Who cares? You just want out of here. What's happening to you? What are these thoughts? What are these half-remembered truths? Why do all your new friends seem so fresh but so familiar? You are lost inside yourself for what simultaneously feels like both a moment and an eternity. The thing is, he most likely learned how to act that way from Vriska. You're right. I gave him 2 weeks then. That's all I'm willing to give him then at that point. That is all my generosity will extend for Tavros. You stop walking and lay down. The grass feels cool on the back of your head and your eyes. And then a girl, unblinkingly, stares at you and says, "What's up?" You stop walking and lay down. The grass feels cool on the back of your head and your eyes feel so heavy. Troll Jesus Christ! Inches away from your face, someone is bent over you and staring unblinkingly into your eyes. In a single panicked motion, you do a youthful sideways roll and spring to your feet. This doesn't seem to startle her at all. She doesn't move from your precariously balanced squat. She's just looking at you, observing you. Is she waiting for you to do something? After exactly 21 seconds of staring directly at you, she offers an entirely too toothy smile. Part of you suspects you just remembered that's what you're supposed to do in these situations. She examines you with an obvious curiosity. Not the worst decision, to nap among the remains of the deceased. What? With a sarcastic motion that suggests looking literally anywhere around you, she draws your attention to what appears to be some sort of dig site. You seem to have fallen asleep on a pile of bones. Her shirt is emblazoned with a dark red Aries high pivot symbol. Oh cool, another Zodiac kid. You must have said Aries out loud because she immediately corrects you. It is pronounced Aradia. What's wrong, dude? What's wrong? What's wrong? You can talk about how you feel, it's alright. It is pronounced Aradia. That makes sense. Although you've just met, you cannot fathom her name being pronounced any other way. Your new potential friend Aradia is looking a little... What is a polite and charming way of saying rough around the edges? You mean perfect. Her clothes are a bit shabby, but maybe that's just normal wear and tear when you've been hanging out in the dirt all day. What? is she doing out here in the dirt anyway? I come out here to dig up bones. She's perfect. Oh, archaeology. Oh, yes, that too. Bros, I don't need to fix her. Bones are an important part of the life cycle. You often hear about the beauty of life, but I find that death is just as important and fascinating. The finality of death has a beauty to it. Or it used to. That little motif. Motherfucker. Yep. What did Demon Story say it is? Say? The name of the OST was Yes, It's That. Yeah, it is. Yep. Fucking Aradia, I love you. It's literally just Megalovania. Just remixed. You want to ask what she means, but it must be written all over your face. She very quickly moves on. Remains can tell us a lot about her owner's life, their owner's life, how they lived, how they met their end. Is that not a little wonderful? Fossils represent a finality, a moment locked in time. It is the physical that remains while the spirit moves on. Everything that made them who they were is gone. When all is said is done, it's only the bones that survive to tell their tale. So you are here to claim their bones. First version of Megalovania was in Homestuck, but it was debated if it belonged to Vriska in certain parts of the fandom. Well, in that one animation, yeah, because during the whole song, like, that's Jack Noir killing Prospit, or is the other planet, I forget. But yeah, both Vriska and Aradia are featured, and they both have big moments in that. Aradia is giving everyone the 5 seconds. Vriska kills Tavros, and that's when she goes like kind of full tilt. Earthbound isn't real, alright? We're all waiting for Oddity. If Earthbound is real, where's Earthbound 4? Checkmate. It's real. It's called Oddity, and we don't know when it's coming out. When all is said and done, it's only the bones that survive to tell their tale. So you come to claim their bones like bamboo-headed Kim. Got it. And that way, death is sort of perfection, don't you think? I love her. Their violent end, a sort of peace. Nothing left but the bones. You've never thought about it that way. In fact, you suspect you may have never thought about anything as much as this girl has thought about bones. Oh, bones are just one of my many interests. Oh yeah, you too. Big bone fan over here. I see you're also a person of exquisite taste. Well, damn. Ho, 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 to you too. Your stomach growls a little bit. Just how long were you out here? I discovered your body several hours ago. I thought you might be dead, so I was watching you to confirm my suspicions. She was watching what she thought was a dead body for several hours. Yes. On the lookout for early signs of decomposition. Rot, rigor mortis, etc. Unfortunately, you are not completely dead. Thank goodness for that, I guess. Wait, what does she mean completely? Aradia, you say some funny words. I love it. There's a moment where her unbreaking, if not somewhat unsettling grin leans more towards the normal. Well, okay, someone might describe it as normal if maybe you'd never seen someone smile before. Like, if you were passing someone in the hallway and they described what a smile was to you and you were just like, no, I got this. Alas, you digress. You are like me. The dead speak to you. You would do well to pay attention. A mantle of doomed souls last leash to you. I wonder just how many times you have died. Yeah, we have died multiple. Died, like, bereft of life. She sits down beside you. She picks up some sort of rib or femur or pelvis or whatever and begins to idly draw in the dirt. It is a crude drawing of some sort of misshapen stick person. Unrelated. Traditionally, yes, that is what dying means. But you are different. I can see the ghosts of all your alternate iterations floating around you, trying to help you. Doomed timelines that have been purposely erased from your consciousness. But you're the culmination of the choices you've made, fatal or otherwise. You've been forced to leave so much behind. Your memories, despite the fact that she seems very focused on her dirt art, you suddenly feel so seen. Someone doesn't want you to remember, but she looks at you and leans in close. Do you want to know a secret? Wait, did she just say ghosts? You're really not following some kind of fake if you're being honest ghosts? Yeah, okay. You've seen some weird shit on this planet, but you've drawn the line at ghosts. The spooky bit was kind of charming and cool at first, but this is borderline ridiculous. Oh? She almost looks hurt, but her tone turns hollow. How disappointing. Aradia rises and turns her back towards you. The night air feels cool, which it hadn't before now. Perhaps from half the especially cold shoulder treatment you are getting right now. Little bumps form in your skin. I have misjudged you. I thought I could trust you, but maybe you're just like the rest. I'm okay with that. It does not bother me. She's floating several feet off the ground. Typically, this is your sign to not to say, sounds like it kind of does bother you. Keep your mouth shut for once. You keep quiet. Now is not the time for your incredible insights. The restraints you have shown here will surely be rewarded. She turns to you slowly, dangling somewhat limply in the air. This act was for your benefit, but to proceed any further is pointless. Her eyes are white. Her face is unreadable. Oh my god, ghosts are real too? Alternia's fucked up. Boo. Oh Jesus, no thanks. This secret sucks. Time to fucking go. Sorry, you said ghosts are fake or whatever bullshit? Yes, maybe that would be best for both of us. I had some hope for you, but it looks like that was misplaced. There's a hollow disappointment in her voice. You've never been negged by a ghost before. She raises a hand to you, her form silhouetted by the twin moons. There's a blissful moment where you feel suspended and still. Troll Jesus Christ! And zoom away from your face. Someone is bent over you, staring unblinkingly into your eyes. In a single panicked motion, you do a youthful sideways roll and spring to your feet. No, we're going with this one. Want to see this? Okay, sounds like it kind of does bother her. Sounds like she isn't okay with it. She is silent for what seems like several minutes. Have your words reached her? When she turns to you, her eyes are white and her expression is blank. Her head tilts to the side as if she was looking at a curious bauble, her face unchanging. Nothing really bothers me anymore. I do think this is really cool. I really like that. You have to admit, you are a little fascinated by this line of inquiry. You don your signature cool person facade and tell her that there is nothing in this god-forsaken universe that will keep you from hearing that secret. You throw in that you are going to die if you do not find out immediately. Average made a time moment, you know. Smooth as butter, baby. You don't know how relieved I am to hear that. The way she speaks has shifted slightly. It sounds fuller, livelier. That's good. Oh yes, I've been alive for some time. No. I fucking love you. All according to plan. When she says the word time, her eyebrows lift a little, as if cueing you in on a joke she seems to think you are completely familiar with. You give it a polite chuckle. What a character. She beams, and there is a moment you forget that she was talking about ghosts and secrets. They can't find us here. We have made them very mad. They can't find us here? Them? We've? Mad? Made? You don't ask for clarification on very. You're feeling pretty confident about that one. This is not the first time we have met, though it is hard to say how long has passed since then. Is she talking about when you decided to fight Jade Lucis, and then, like, she found your corpse and it's like, oh, he fucked up the route, and we'll see him later? Since then, time passes differently out here. Her propose of nothing and far be it from you to comment on someone's appearance, but why does she look so much older? Why is she wearing the magic team pajamas like John in them? Why do you know that? Why do you know about the pajamas, reader? How did you manage to do her makeup so well and just not brush your hair at all? You know, if curls the issue might actually be overbrushing. You don't want to brag, but you happen to have an encyclopedic knowledge of hair care products. Has she considered switching to sulfate-free shampoo? God, you wish you had her hair. Wow, you ask a lot of questions, but I guess that's natural. Right now, we are outside of the canonical relevance. You're gonna have to stop her right there. You have had enough of canon, but relevant and relevancy, and what it means and what is and isn't. Do you people never tire of sniffing your own farts about canonical impact? Wow, rude. Yeah, you're rude now. Fuck the narrative. Absolutely phenomenal, and I could not agree more. I love you. Like, I was trying to explain out here, even the powers that even the powers that be cannot hear us. I must say, I'm a big fan of your work. I've seen quite a few Doom timelines before, but nothing like this. Oh yeah, when she's with Dave and like the outer shell narrative or whatever. It's like, I just kind of like to see how it ends. You are something they had no contingency plans for, and Paradox Space is practically falling apart at the seams. This timeline has been peppered with inconsistencies and clues, things here and there that cannot exist yet, events that occur too early. I figured you're doing it on purpose, so I thought I'd get your attention. But you are a little broken, aren't you? She looks disappointed as she says this. You don't know why she would want your attention, but she has it. It is not only your attention I want. The power is shifting, and the ones pulling the strings are distracted with their own meaningless problems. You really can't remember anything, can you? You remember some things that you can't explain. Name of things, hints of the past, whispers of ghosts. Wait, how does she know this? Yes, they have been whispering to you quite loudly. They are the fractured remnants of your departed selves, and they have been trying to help you get here at this exact moment. You ask where and when here is exactly. As you look around, the scenery seems to shift. Sometimes you're inside, sometimes you're outside, sometimes you are in all places at once. You swear you see some shadow of your friends here and there, but in places they don't really belong. Why would Rose be in Kanaya's hive? Do they know each other? You want to know what is going on and why it is so important that you are here, wherever here is. I asked an old acquaintance ghost to tell an ancient space squid to burp up a place for us to meet. As one does, sure. Think of it as a liminal space made of the same thing memories are made of. I've spent a lot of time in the furthest ring and in these bubbles and trying to figure out how they work. So I have some ideas, but I don't really think the ones who conceive them even really know exactly. What matters is the specific path you took to get here. It took you many tries, but you made it. You get the feeling the more this is spelled out, the less sense it will make. Kind of kills the magic. Yes, this is probably true of most things. Instead of explaining it to you, it was easier just to rewind things and have you try again. You're almost too embarrassed to ask how many times it took to get it right. She puts her hand on your shoulder and just shakes her. She's so good. She's funny. The important thing is that you made it. Why is Aradia why is Aradia just peak comedy? She's just so good. It's like in Homestuck too, I love her new outfit and just how she is. And I am so happy to get banter between Dave and her. They really do. Like, the author just did a magnificent job of just having them just converse. It's so much bullshit. I love it. The important thing is that you made it. I tried so many things to get you here. One time I pretended to be a ghost. She affects a spooky tone, sort of waving her fingers around. Since accidentally entering the medium, your particular class and aspect combination have given you knowledge and foresight you shouldn't have. Your class and we have that? But here, where the connection to every version of yourself is strongest, we can do a little housekeeping. She reaches her hand out to yours. Oh fuck, is this it? You are finally making a friend and all it took was an infinite number of tries? You take her hand and she smiles at you. Then everything goes off the shits. Something flies into you. Oh fuck, that was a ghost. You see them. Oh fuck, it has your face. And it has your hoodie. Well, I'm guessing these are the different failed attempts on just Alternia itself before you got Kanai's gown dressing. There's so many of them. One by one, they slam into you. The entirety of their lives and each of their deaths play out before you in real time. I love hearing this song. It is such a really good song. Aurelia clutches your hand, begins to laugh in a way that makes you start to think maybe this wasn't a great idea. But you remember all of them. As the last doomed version of yourself is absorbed into your body, you collapse out of both physical and mental exhaustion. You're back in the dirt, back in the bone pile. You just sort of turn over and lay there for a second. Oh my god. Malik, Tizius, Boulder, oh, little Damon, Zebra. Okay, maybe not that guy. But there's still a gap. Why are you here? You look down at the hoodie Malik gave you. Didn't Karkat's friend say nobody used the symbol for a long time? I'm afraid I don't know exactly. My abilities have allowed me to tidy up your timelines that have happened in a sort of tentative canon. You roll your eyes. She ignores you and continues. So whatever happened to you outside of the narrative is beyond my capacity as a guide to the deceased. But I know a way we can find out. It is why I brought you here, to give you back your memories. God, you miss fucking around about... God, you miss just fucking around about hot dogs. You wonder what your friends are up to now. You think maybe you should check on them. She looks you in the eyes and you stop rolling them for 2 seconds. Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you want to go apeshit? You want the chaos options, Aradia, and I respect it. Don't you just want to go apeshit? Aren't you tired of being nut? You think about it for a little bit. You've been gone for so long, and you can go back whenever you want, right? You gotta focus on the friends in the here and now. You know what? Yeah, let's trash this place. You stand up and kick over a small piece of bone. No, my bones! Sorry. She kneels down next to the carnage and just stares for a little bit. Shit, she looks completely devastated. It is actually kind of hard to watch. You're hidden away, huh, Biscuits? This is no way to canonize a friendship with a time god. What were you thinking? You were just too damn good at kicking over small piles of shit. Curse these powerful legs. Marvis wouldn't do something like this. That guy was cool as hell. Orion begins to laugh in a way someone less eager for friendship might describe as a cackle. Look! She's arranged the bones in an outlandish, if not slightly vulgar configuration. For once, I really am okay with this. I was lying to you for comedic effect. It's okay, you can laugh. Try it with me. Say, ha. Ha. Now say it again. Ha. There you go. I meant apeshit more in like a larger sense. I don't think any of them care about bones. They're lost. If you really want to see things fall apart, I can lead you to where you need to be. You don't know who they are, and you don't give a solitary shit. Fuck this place. Fuck whoever took your memories. Let's go absolutely buck wild up in this place. You kick up some dirt and don't even care. Aradia produces a series of abstractions from thin air. Some sort of giant Ouija board? The lens spells out sickle, but an Alternian, which you still don't understand why you can read, but you know what not... But you know what? Not the wildest, weirdest shit going... Not the weirdest shit happening right now. Karkat rambunctiously colored sickle appears midair. She hands it to you and excitedly takes her other hand. Let's go! Over the next few hours, you teleport around both Alternia and Earth, dropping a bunch of seemingly random objects in nonsense places, being careful not to be seen. You change the gift itinerary in John's dad's PDA. You sign the kids up for cell phone plans. Are you just, like, doing chores? This really feels more like running errands than breaking anything. Trust me, they are going to notice, and... Oh, I bet they're going to be so steamed. Aradia, you little shit starter. Ah. You personally guarantee nobody in their right mind will care about any of this, but the moment the words leave your mouth, something in the distance cracks. You don't see it, you don't hear it, you feel it. You zap to the next location, you steal Vriska's lipstick, and there it is again. A crack. You almost can't believe it. This stupid plan is working. You guess the devil really is in the details. Next to you, Aradia looks absolutely thrilled. Still, changes in the timeline can have big repercussions, but nothing like this. They usually just create a doomed offshoot, but this is a whole doomed reality. Don't you know what this means? You tell her that you totally do know what it means, but just in case she doesn't know, she should explain it for herself. If you just keep up whatever it is you've been doing, this whole place is going to come down. Yep. Aradia lifts an air conditioning unit and throws it into the stratosphere of her mind. Wow, that's fucked up. She sits on the edge of the roof overlooking the city. Thank you. This was fun. A faint crack forms in the sky. The curtains of space and time pull back to reveal a nothingness that does not really make you feel as whole as you had hoped. But there's still a bit for you to do. You still have a few more friends to make. What? That's it? You put a crack in reality and then just go back to spending time with some teens? Yeah. Aren't you also sort of a teen? You explain that it's not very clear, actually. Well, the answers you want are at the end of your path. The only way to find them is to get them to come to you. And they will. It will all make sense then. You wish that were true. You sit next to her, your legs dangling over the edge of the molding. Oh, the thunder went away. Before your eyes, the crack in the sky appears to be sewn shut, almost as quickly as it appeared. She was right, something is happening. The two of you sit in each other's company for what feels like both a moment and an eternity. Good end, you guess. We still have to get this one. Alright, start. Oh, you have to do this. Oh, look at the time. You were supposed to pick your punk rock alien daughter up at the mall like 100 years ago or whatever. Oh my god, you're friends? You have to go back. You look at Aradia. This is awkward. You actually have a prior engagement, actually? This could work. You extend your hand in the universal come with me gesture. Try to focus on anyone. The comforting chaos of Arata's house, the burnt-out mall where you promise Daria you take her with you. Yes, it's all coming back to you. You're so glad you have an encyclopedic knowledge of that whole adventure before continuing. Use that to both of you onwards. You're in the fucking hallway. There's that T-posing turd. Arati goes eyed wide. No, not this time. Eat my whole ass, you nobodies. You conjure the strongest memory you can. Oh my god. You sniffed Marvis's arm. The shame you're feeling sends you reeling. This is it, you guess. It was important to the lore. I made sure we did it. I just find it so funny they're talking about it. Hi, Frida. This is it, you guess. You what? But nothing is here. You float listlessly in a black void. The barely concealed fetish was imperative for the plot. It really was. Good on the author for doing that. Why is anything here? Where is everyone? You refocus. Maybe that was just a bad point to remember. You pull the strings for your hoodie tight, letting its warmth cover you like a dear friend's embrace. Surely you've spent enough time with Malik's jacket to have formed some sort of secret bond to the memory of him. This will be enough. It needs to be enough. You disappear and reappear in the same spot. You phase in and out over and over and nothing happens. Aradia watches you, but seems to be giving you space to process this. It isn't enough. It was never enough. They're gone. You go limp and just drift for a while. You hear the sad song of some sort of cosmic entity. It low tones reverberates your entire body, filling you with a sorrow you didn't know you were capable of feeling. An impossibly long tendril appears from the void and slowly makes its way towards you. It gently wraps itself around you. You don't even bother to question it at this point. Wow. On a scale of 1 to 10, how shaken is your faith? Why aren't they here, Radio? Where is everything? I don't know, but I'm here. Do you just want to vibe out with this space monster for a little while? I kind of do. Yeah, okay, you guess. I do not know where your friends are or why there isn't anything here, but I'm afraid you may not find these answers until you confront the Puppet Master. But, isn't that fine? Friends and grudges, life and death, existence and nothingness? Isn't it all the same in the end? The only... If this is about bones, you are not going to lose your mind. She smiles. Well, I can confidently say it wasn't about bones. You can't help but laugh a little bit. You want to try again? I know there's a different way this goes, but I still want to see what you would do. You won't remember anything, not even our friend here. You think about it for a little bit. The Canelo sort of paps you on the face. Is it trying to comfort you? Eventually, you know that's what has to happen. She'll rewind you and tidy up the mess you've made by coming out here. There's a path you need to follow, and you keep trying to cheat it. You ask her to let you sit here for a little bit longer. You don't want to forget just yet. Okay. We didn't get that ending. Oh, I think I know how to do that, actually. I have an idea. Oh, you got me kidding. Exactly. I knew it. I'm assuming this ending here is where you join Peppery on her conquest of the world, like you join an older version of her potentially. So if we do 2, that means we'll be done with the trolls next week. Oh, give me a second. I gotta pet Frida as she eats. All right, go to your food bowl. All right, I have pet the cat. While she eats, she is now content. I might save Dirk's volume for its own thing. Oh, hi, Frida. All right, but I will probably end stream here. Just gonna chill with Frida since she's up and wants attention. Yeah, hope you guys like the W volume reading. I fucking love Aradia. Just an agent of chaos, a shit starter. Her own interests. I could not live that kind of life that she does, but it's always fun reading about her exploits. But yeah, everyone. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. I will be. No, that's like it was a Starbucks for signing a Starbucks receipt. All right, that'll be it for me. I just got word that I'm gonna be working this upcoming Monday, but oh well. Either way, thank you all for coming. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Yes, free. I'm coming.